nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm
You don't like the demo, make a new one tomorrow.
And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, like I told ya, this is for my motherfucking soldiers, my blacks on my 18s on my real yosers. Toothless, re-rate, ruthless, we don't give a fuck. Got niggas on the come up, fuck with us, then you die. Fuck with us, then you die. Real niggas make real moves. Brains is cautious, I'm in the game. List up, fake nigga, from the bay, black power, nigga mainstream, black jeans and 18, hotel, South News, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life.
Yours are brought to Lua to the death of me. Just banging on these dogs here, cause there ain't no money left of me, Bringing misery to my enemies. My 4 block niggas going send you straight to the cemetery. Yours far, 2 of my niggas passed off. Just banging around the nation, never giving a fuck. 2 of my niggas holding it down, saying truths are black and blue. Fuck the monkey niggas for life, and we coming for you.
And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. You niggas alive, holding it down forever, flying in the streets, cashed up at the age of 16, checking months on the daily routine. The house, me getting the smack back in the tree. It's the nigga free, running the streets of refugee. DGI, don't fucking know, you started to the sky, I'll do it till I die. Only the wicked survive my drive, so you ready to ride. Niggas for life, niggas for life, niggas for life. And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Yo, fuck, I'm a motherfucking nigga. Yeah, it's hell, bow down, it's the black part. Tattooed on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town, Yo, fuck, I'm a nigga. Yeah, it's hell, bow down, it's the black part. Tattooed on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town,
In the street, you prepare where it takes you. Some situations can make you or break you. But fuck that shit, I'm a nigga for life. The day I got patched up, real niggas for life. And not so black, I see little. Since I'm riding, since I'm for these hard times, I live little. Dark places, gutter me, placed up. Nigga makes me take chasing everything. Life flags is empty, but it's okay, I'm still here. Vegas, Groundhog, NFL, we throw it up. We young niggas rising up. Veteran for sure, fuck my black cars, we stay stoked. Through the storm and through the war. Niggas for life, niggas for see them up, we kill them all. Take this patch, roll it up. Yo, fuck the total, representing everything. Bow down the town, wait, in the town, loud and proud. Show black, we found out. Show black, we found out. Yo, fuck, I'm a motherfucking nigga. Yeah, this hell, bow down, this the black part. Tattooed on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town, Yo, fuck, I'm a nigga. Yeah, this hell, bow down, this the black part. Tattooed on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town, BPAT is what you see, and what you see is what you get, and what you get is chin check. When you come around that way, you gon' feel the full effect of a crazy ass nigga run my blade cross your neck. Angel shit real quick, I hold it down for the fist. This black prime motherfucker, we be up in this bitch. Yeah, you see us on the hustle, we be trying to get rich. This fist gang to the death, know that I never switch. I'm 18, nigga, never taking it lightly. Fucking must think they mighty, but none of them wanna fight me. You don't believe me, come try me, your fucking ass will be dying.
See your mama, she crying, but she kiss you goodbye, and I stay real, nigga. I live and die for the black, I live and die for the pack. I'm spitting rhymes and facts. Now I think you get the message, so there might be a rap. This paper chasing nigga makes this nigga life where it's at. You from the motherfucking nigga. The sound, it's the black club. Catch it up and fix it, spanking all around. She bow down on the real niggas in the town, You from the nigga. The sound, it's the black club. Catch it up and fix it, spanking all around. She bow down on the real niggas in the town, We the black, so be careful what you say to us. Repercussions is a must if you fuck with us. Got some foul niggas, killers waiting for the club. It's a real black club, here to kill you.
Fuck off. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Nothing fucking works. She's just doing a bunch of shit I'm not asking her to do.
There's no charge. Look after yourself. Promise me. You could follow a red light on a phone or follow the traffic experts.
In the air and on the ground. We're on the drive with you.
Traffic every 10 minutes on the ones. Traffic alerts at once.
On 680 News.
This portion of the news brought to you by Alpine Credits. Super Bowl Sunday means parties with a lot of food, but if you don't eat meat, how do you get around the nachos, chili, and slow-cooked meatballs? Our Jeffrey Holman has some tips from an expert.
It's a legit concern. If you don't eat meat, do you bring your own snacks? Do you hope the host has prepared properly? And if you're having people over, what can you make? Well, thank you, Tori Wesser, registered dietitian, who says Beyond Meat is a solid option.
So we have a hamburger soup, which is a throwback to the 80s, and a shepherd's pie, which is nice and warm and comforting, which I think would be, again, perfect for a crowd. But hey, I mean, you can make loaded tacos or nachos and put the Beyond Beef on top of that. I mean, why not like a big pot of chili and some cornbread?
You can find the recipes at freshliving.com, but that's FRAICHE living.com. I'm Jeff Rahoman.
You're listening to 680 News. Coming up in just 60 seconds, our weekend business report. 680 News Time, 11:25.
Alpine Credits. Hi there. I'm looking for a home renovation loan.
Wow, that's quite the voice.
I'm a professional voice actor.
Great. I'm not threatened. Do you own your home?
Indeed. Am I approved?
Yes, you're approved.
Approved.
Yes, approved. Okay, this ad is over.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. But if you have a great voice, please don't make our loan specialist feel insecure. We need him. Alpine Credits. Some conditions apply. FISRA license 12616.
I got a call from some company called Numeris. Probably another survey.
Wait, you need to take that call. You love radio and TV, right?
Yeah, so?
Yeah, so?
Wouldn't you like to have a say in how to shape it? Numeris are the ones that gather that information.
Really?
Yeah, Numeris.
Take the call.
All right, I will.
Have your say. Brought to you by Radio Connects. Learn more at numeris.ca and be a part of all the great stuff you listen to and watch.
680 News Time, 11:26. Now time for the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Richard Southern. No more fake meat at Timmy's. We found out this past week that Tim Hortons is going to stop selling Beyond Meat products. A coffee chain last year, amid much fanfare, announced Beyond Meat burgers and Beyond Meat sausage breakfast sandwiches. But it said there just wasn't a lot of demand, and that's why they're now off the menu. Robert Carter is food expert at Stratton Hunter.
Yeah, this is interesting, and this could be something as simple as product fit. With Tim Hortons launching a Beyond Meat burger, they're clearly trying to attract a new consumer. They may be trying to attract consumers to a dinner day part which is really less than 10% of their overall business. So this could just be about fit and not really fitting in with their existing customer profile.
Right, because by all accounts, Beyond Meat has worked at other chains like A&W, right?
Absolutely. When you take a look at the volume of consumption of this Beyond Meat product, we're talking about tens of millions going through A&W, and the Impossible Burger at Burger King in the U.S. is on track to hit 75 million servings annually. So, this product, from a plant-based protein standpoint, it is successful. And I would suggest that we will see a plant-based menu item at Tim Hortons. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like moving
You can buy orange juice.
They're going to go ahead.
That's about as far as it should go.
I think so. The Beyond Meat was a limited trial. They've come out and said that, so I think they may reevaluate. This would be an expensive product for Tim Hortons as well, but I will make a bold prediction that we will see a plant-based product on Tim Hortons menu.
That's Robert Carter with Stratton Hunter, and at the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern. Hey, John.
How much meat is there to donut?
Numero uno.
I don't understand. I thought you said your business needed help getting more customers.
Numero uno.
What do you mean, numero uno?
I mean, the team at Numero Uno helped turn my business around. With their simple online strategies, I have more leads, more customers, and more sales than ever.
Sounds like the numero uno team really know their stuff.
That's why they're Numero Uno.
To see how Numero Uno can get your business more customers, visit numerounoweb.com today. That's numerounoweb.com.
This is the first sound you hear when we get hit by a snowstorm. And this is the second sound you hear. Snow plows on the DVP and the Gardner. When it snows, the city has over 5,600 kilometers of roads to salt and plow. And in order to get more people where they need to go safely, we clear expressways, major roads, and transit routes first, before moving on to residential streets. It's how we keep you moving, Toronto. Get to know the plan for snow at toronto.ca/snow.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by the Canadian Women's Foundation. On Thursday, March 5th, have lunch and LOL with Emmy-nominated comedian Samantha Bee, live in Toronto. Funds raised support the Canadian Women's Foundation. Get your tickets at canadianwomen.org.
In Ottawa, fog, -3 degrees. Montreal, also foggy and -5. Right now, downtown Toronto, light snow and 0. 680 News Time, 11:30.
Number one for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Saturday, February the 1st. I'm Carlin Donahue. And I'm Eden Debaba. Here's what's making news this hour.
Police say there are no outstanding parties and no arrests have been made after a deadly shooting in the City Place neighborhood. 3 young men were killed.
The first death case related to the Wuhan novel coronavirus has been reported in the Philippines. Death toll of the novel coronavirus has risen, numbers now sitting at about 300 victims. And today marks the beginning of Black History Month. We'll have a full rundown of events to go to throughout the GTA.
Jason Spezza gets a goal against his former team, but the Maple Leafs and Senators went down to overtime in the Battle of Ontario, and Norm Powell out indefinitely for the Raptors. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, many Canadian business leaders are pessimistic about the economy over the next 12 months. And one economist says it's not entirely surprising.
680 News Time, 11:31. It's time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by IA Clarington Investments. So some slowdowns through the construction zones through the Whitby area on both the east side and the west side of the 401. So eastbound as you approach Brock Street, just a single left lane is open for you here. The construction begins as you approach Brock Street, but stretches for a while. You do go down to a single left lane getting by. The Brock Street ramps on to the eastbound 401 have also been shut down for maintenance. Westbound 401 west of Fixin is where this construction zone begins, and it leaves you open with just a single right lane getting by this construction zone too. So very slow both eastbound and westbound on the 401 through this construction zone. Slight delays on the eastbound DVP through the construction zone here. That leaves you with 2 lanes open. Jarvis to about Cherry. That's the heaviest traveled bit. I'm not seeing any problems anymore on the northbound or southbound DVP. The 400 is moving well too. to the 404, and our problems that we had as you were coming off the northbound 427 joining the westbound 401 have all cleared, so everything's back up to speed. IA Clarington, where they believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarington.com. Your next report is at 11:41, and with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Tonight, we're expecting to continue to see some flurries in around the GTA. There will be a couple of slip spots, but we're not expecting any major accumulation, anywhere between a trace to upwards of 2 centimeters across the area. Our overnight low tonight is -1.
Right now in downtown Toronto, light snow 0, but feeling like -5 with the wind, and at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, -1 degree, but feeling more like -7. 680 News Time, 11:33. Toronto police are investigating the city's latest fatal shooting. 3 men are dead after a party in an Airbnb went south. Police have now identified the 3 victims. 680's Joey Keeney reports.
It all happened just before 10:30 last night at an Airbnb unit on the 32nd floor of a building in the City Place neighborhood. 3 young men were killed. 2 died at the scene and another was pronounced in hospital. The deceased have been identified as 21-year-old Jalen Colley, 20-year-old Joshua Gibson Skier, and 19-year-old Tyrone Noseworthy. A 4th victim, another 20-year-old man, was taken to hospital with serious gunshot wounds. Constable Alex Lee with Toronto Police tells 680 News guns were recovered from the condo unit.
After speaking with our homicide investigators, is that we have recovered 2 firearms, which we believe are related to the shooting incident that occurred late last night, early this morning. I can confirm that the shooting occurred within a condo unit and the adjacent hallway.
Airbnb issued a statement in response saying safety is their top priority and they are urgently investigating the incident. I'm Joey Keeney.
Meanwhile, the recent shooting at the waterfront property rented through Airbnb has turned people's attention towards the city. Many are wondering what officials are doing to reel in short-term rental mayhem. The city of Toronto is slowly regulating short-term rental hosts by requiring them to register with the city. The fatal shooting happened in Councillor Joe Cressy's ward, Ward 10 of Spadina, Fort York. Cressy tells the Toronto Star this brutal and traumatic incident underscores the urgent need for proper regulation and oversight of short-term rentals, including Airbnb. This is 680 News at 11:35. The first death outside of China caused by the novel coronavirus has been reported in the Philippines. A 44-year-old man was a resident of Wuhan and was traveling in the Philippines when he succumbed to his injuries. Meantime, in Canada, health officials continue to stress that the chances of contracting the virus remain low. There are now 4 confirmed cases in the nation, 3 here in Ontario and 1 in BC. In all the cases, the people had traveled to Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the outbreak. Just yesterday, in a London, Ontario woman currently in isolation at home. China's death toll from the virus, meantime, has risen to 304 people. The number of confirmed cases in China rising to nearly 14,000. And the latest revelation in Canadian concerns surrounding the virus comes from a 13-hour Canadian flight from Beijing to Toronto. A passenger on board told CBC News that the Air Canada flight had no running water. Instead, they were offered antiseptic wipes, which ran out just 4 hours into the flight. Hand washing is routinely listed as one of the best ways to prevent the spreading contraction of the virus. An internal memo from the Air Canada Union said the choice to fly without water was unacceptable. This is 680 News at 11:36. Business and government leaders have been working towards building ties with China for years now, but it seems like many Canadians aren't on their side.
We've been told it will be great for our economy, but 67% of those polled by Mario Canseco's firm Research Co. don't support those efforts. He explains 2/3 of those who took the survey would rather we also say no way to Huawei when it comes to our 5G networks.
When we compare the way Canadians feel about other countries is they don't tend to look at China as a place where they want to do business necessarily. And I think that shows in the fact that you have 2/3 of the Canadians who say that we should not be working to establish closer ties with China.
A majority also backs our government's handling of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou's arrest as part of a U.S. extradition request. I'm Martin McMahon.
In a statement, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says, "Today we celebrate the start of Black History Month and honor the legacy of Black Canadians. This year's theme, Canadians of African descent going forward, guided by the past." Black History Month began in the United States in 1926 to raise awareness and understanding in the school curriculum of the African experience around the world. And the city of Toronto has a number of events and historical tours to recognize the past and present contributions that African Canadians make to life in Toronto. For instance, Jennifer Harrington, manager of museums with the city, says you can visit a recreated print shop from the 1850s at Mackenzie House.
Why not like a better time period than that?
Shad Carey, who was a
Not like a Black
multi-talented
Panther Party
abolitionist and
print shop.
journalist, and the first female African-Canadian publisher in North America.
For more details and other exhibits and events happening throughout the GTA this month, you can head to the Black History Month page on the city's website. I'm Michelle Mackey. This is 680 News at 11:38. Are you commuting today? Well, just a heads up, the TTC has some service disruptions to keep in mind. Subway service on Line 1 will be shut down from Finch to Eglinton this weekend, and shuttle buses will be running. North York Centre Station will also be closed, and Wheel Transit commuters can talk to a TTC employee if they need some help. During the closure, workers will be installing a signaling system. Service is expected to resume on Monday. And tomorrow is the day where we leave the fate of the long-range forecast in the hands of groundhogs. Our weather specialist, Denise Andriachi, says an early spring looks likely.
Fingers crossed, early spring. I'm down for it.
As for our meteorologist, Jill Taylor, she says even her dog Bauer is on board with winter coming to an early end.
Bauer and I predict he'll say an early spring.
Our meteorologist, Carl Lamb, is also voting for an early spring, but he was also quick to point out that Willie may be lacking the proper schooling to be making such predictions.
Wyerton Willie, who doesn't have any meteorology credentials and has been historically more wrong than he is correct.
Our meteorologist, Natasha Ramsahai, had a similar outlook.
You are not going to see your shadow, and your forecast is going to be for an early spring, which is going to coincide nicely with what the climatologists over at Environment Canada are saying for a warmer than average next 3 months.
And finally, our weather specialist, Michelle Mackey's prediction made our sensors work overtime.
I predict that Willie will predict an early spring. Because if he doesn't, I swear to...
I'm Veronica Thor. Coming up, we'll check on your gas prices. 680 News Time, 11:39.
Game day Sunday. The excitement, the heart-pounding adrenaline.
And the hearty Italian classics from Palma Pasta. Change up your game day traditions. Feed your hungry fans with an extra large meat or veggie lasagna for $65.99 or a large lasagna for $26.99. Today and tomorrow only. Cheesy and hearty. Perfect for the big game. For locations, visit palmapasta.com. Palma Pasta. Italian tradition.
Simply delicious.
And now for the gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will remain the same at midnight, holding at just under $1.10 at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather next, 680 News Time, 11:40.
Catholic teachers are fighting to preserve one of the best education systems in the world. We want to give every student a chance to succeed. The Ford government is overcrowding classrooms and destroying opportunities for students. We need to stop them before it gets worse. Critical thinking is one of the most important skills we teach. How to separate fact from spin. Don't fall for this government's misinformation. No more. Visit knowmore.ca to help us reverse the cuts. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for you. One example, Northwood regularly helps families get into new homes after the bank has turned them down. Unlike the big banks, Northwood Mortgage is more flexible. Northwood Mortgage listens and works harder to create a solution that's customized for you. Northwood Mortgage. Visit northwoodmortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
License 10349.
680 News Time, 11:41. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
He didn't say anything like, oh, no one to believe,
It's a right lane that we have blocked,
They didn't say
and
none of
that's our
that.
only problem. The rest is construction delays. This report brought to you by Nissan Canada. So eastbound and westbound 401 through the Durham area with the east 401 approaching Brock Street. 2 right lanes are blocked off, and it's very slow through here. It's also blocking the Brock Street ramps onto the eastbound 401, and then through this same
same stretch, really, just west of Fix-In over to approaching Brock Street on the westbound 401. Just a single right lane is open for you through here. It's construction and it's causing some slowdowns. The rest of the major routes are looking in pretty good shape. Just a bit of weather to contend with, but for the most part, it's looking much better right now than it was at the start of my shift. So that's it. Just the construction out in the Whitby area on the eastbound and the westbound 401.
How many days you been working straight, bro? Don't lie to
pretty
us.
good shape, and that northbound 427 problem at the 409 isn't causing any delays. Be a winter warrior with Nissan. Lease or finance a Qashqai or Kicks and get up to 3 payments on Nissan, up to $1,000. Visit choosenissan.ca. Your next report is at 11:51, and with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
The majority of us will see on and off again flurries throughout the region tonight, and it'll be just enough to cut down visibilities to anywhere between 1 to about 4 kilometers per hour. So just be careful if you are on the roads tonight. We'll see final snow accumulations anywhere between a trace to upwards of 2 centimeters. And then for tomorrow, we'll see a mix of freezing rain, rain showers, and even a few flurries as well. At least though the high temperature will be above freezing by the afternoon. We're talking about a high of plus 2 degrees. Our overnight low tonight is -1.
In downtown Toronto right now, it's 0, but it feels like -6 with the wind chill, and we're seeing an overcast sky. Over at Toronto Pearson, it's -1, and it feels like -7. 680 News Time, 11:43.
As headmaster of St. Andrews College in Aurora, I'm often asked by parents why our school is right for their son.
The second you enter, you know you're a part of something truly amazing. There are tons of arts and extracurricular activities.
71 teams, 21 sports. There are so many opportunities to become a leader. 100% of our students are accepted to university.
The teachers sincerely care. They push you to do your best.
And I have brothers for life.
Experience for yourself what a St. Andrews College Day or boarding program can offer your son. Join us for our open house on February 8th.
Details at sac.on.ca.
It's me, the announcement system for GO Transit, here to announce kids 12 and under can now ride the GO for free. Kids can travel to
follow me around every time I'm
for
on the
free.
train.
Did you know
The fuck away from
octopuses
me.
have 3 hearts? I did. I know everything. But I would give it all up just for one of those hearts. I'd learn to love. So one day I could understand the love parents have, knowing their kids can ride for free. Discover more at gotransit.com/kidsgofree.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It is 0 in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Carling Donahue. Here are the top stories this hour. A shooting at a downtown Toronto Airbnb has left 3 men dead. Police say it happened at a condo in the city around 10:30 last night. 2 other men were injured. We now know the names of the victims, and police are saying there's no outstanding suspects in the case. The first death outside of China caused by the novel coronavirus has been reported in the Philippines. The 44-year-old man was a Wuhan resident who was traveling when he succumbed to his injuries. And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau urging
did he
Canadians
get out
to
of
remain
Wuhan?
united during the
He's
coronavirus
on
outbreak. He says that the
quarantine
country must
lockdown,
not resort to racism
according
as
to the
Chinese
Chinese
communities do
Communist
not
Party.
want
How
to
the
feel
fuck
exiled
do you
as
get
they
out from under
did
there?
during the outbreak of SARS. 680 News Time, 11:45. Now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Colin Teske.
Battle of Ontario, Maple Leafs hosting the Ottawa Senators, and Mark Borowiecki opened the scoring for Ottawa with his 7th of this season. But Jason Spencer spent 611 games in a Senator uniform, finally got to face his former team for the first time
died when he
in
got off
Maple
the
Leafs
plane.
colors.
And
But
Hyman
they let him
gets the puck
on the
back to the
plane.
blue line. It comes
So a
to
whole
Spencer.
shitload of people were in a confined space with his ass.
Joe Bowen on the Leafs radio network. Spencer tied the game at 1. Regulation would solve nothing. In overtime, the Senators failed to capitalize on the power play. Then Senators defenseman Mike Riley took a penalty with just over a minute to play in the extra frame. Mitch Marner nets your game winner to win the final for the Maple Leafs. Other winners, the Winnipeg Jets scored a 5-2 win over the reigning champs, the St. Louis Blues. Norm Powell out indefinitely as the Raptors get set to face the Bulls. And the Super Bowl is here. Miami, the host city. Kansas City is a 1.5-point favorite over San Francisco. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 11:46.
The world's biggest tennis stars battle it out this summer at the Aviva Center in Toronto.
I don't know any tennis stars. You
Champion
could invent names right now.
homegrown Canadian talent Denis Shapovalov and Felix Auger-Aliassime and four-time winner Novak Djokovic. With so much to love, don't miss the Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank. Single session tickets on sale now.
There has to be a fucking story to why three guys shoot each other up.
If I
The
told
fourth
you
guy's
there
not
are as many
charged,
as
so that
2,000 homeless youth in our city each night, would you care?
is too
What if I
fucking
told
weird.
you most of them have suffered from abuse and neglect? Then would you care? What if I told you many feel safer on the streets than they do at home? Now do you care? What if I told you I really need your help?
How young do they need to be before you care? Donate $8 a month to Covenant House Toronto and provide homeless kids with a warm bed, hot meal, and a better future. Visit covenanthousetoronto.ca to donate.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the 2020 Rogers Cup presented by National Bank. Peel police say an arrest has been made in connection with a fatal hit and run that claimed the life of a woman in a wheelchair. 45-year-old Penny Coussard from Mississauga was hit yesterday morning near Dixie Road in Lakeshore. Constable Heather Cannon tells 680 News that she was traveling in the bicycle lane in her wheelchair when she was struck by the driver of a black Honda.
We attended and we did locate an adult female. She succumbed to those injuries. The vehicle did not remain on scene, and so we shut the scene down in order to maintain the integrity of the actual scene itself.
56-year-old Mississauga man was arrested and charged with failed to remain causing death and dangerous operation of a motorized vehicle. He will appear in court soon. If you have information, contact Major Collision Bureau. This is All News Radio 680 News. Well, Sin City is getting a new steakhouse named after two of America's most famous gangsters, Bugsy's and Myers. Named after Bugsy Siegel and Meyer Lansky, is coming to one of Las Vegas's biggest casinos, the Flamingo. Bugsy Siegel opened the Flamingo, and Meyer Lansky, a famous New York gangster, was one of the main backers. Upon entering, customers have to walk past the kitchen and the dry-aged meat cooler to get to their table. The steakhouse will be opening in spring of this year. You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. The Toronto Ravine Strategy has the okay from City Council. The plan is to clean up and protect the city's 300-kilometer ravine system. An extra $2.7 million a year will be spent increasing litter collection and invasive species control. The strategy includes a loop trail to connect 81 kilometers of ravine trails across the city. The ravine system is one of the largest in the world. It extends over 300 kilometers and covers 17% of the city's land area. This is All News Radio 680 News. The provincial government is buying the former Greenwood Secondary School site from the Toronto District School Board to build a new French language high school. The province is giving Conseil Scolaire Viamonde $10.2 million to buy the property on Mount Joy Avenue near Greenwood and Danforth. The future school will accommodate 500 students from grade 7 to 12. Coming up on 680 News, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News time, 11:50.
Getting you where you need to go
faster.
The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
I wasn't expecting to be diagnosed with cancer,
To take my child to emergency.
to have to put dad in long-term care. I also wasn't expecting my doctor to be so compassionate while I cried,
To give a lollipop to my son as we discuss the surgery.
to help me communicate what's happening to my dad.
You can expect
Lollipops are
Ontario's
good
doctors to be
medicine.
there when you need them. We're committed to putting you at the center of our care because we are Ontario's doctors and we're leading you to better health. Brought to you by the Ontario Medical Association.
This is your breaking news station. 680 News.
Hello, Loblaws shoppers, specifically Paul, who's planning a party for the big game. I'm your snack coach, Paul, here to make sure your party food is on point.
Okay.
Rush to the hot counter, tackle a bucket of 36 chicken wings and potato wedges, a 2-liter Pepsi beverage, and select varieties of Ruffles, Doritos, or Tostito snacks, and earn 3,500 PC Optimum points.
Touchdown. Oh, wait, spicy your mouth.
Just get the wings, Paul. Conditions apply. Offer valid until February 5th, 2020, only at participating Loblaws locations. Food lovers unite. 680 News Time, 11:51. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Roto-Rooter Emergency Services. So it's really just the construction delays that we have to deal with now on both the eastbound and the westbound 401. So approaching Brock Street on the eastbound side of the highway, just a single left lane is getting by this construction zone. And we're seeing delays from approaching Brock Street over to in between Brock Street and Thixon. It seems to be getting a tiny bit better on the eastbound side. Westbound, we have construction just west of Thixon. Also, just a single right lane is open through here. That's where you can expect the delays. That's where the construction begins, just west of Thixon, but you do go down to a single lane approaching Brock Street. So through this Whitby zone of the eastbound and the westbound 401, we're seeing some delays. Eastbound and westbound Gardner's not looking too bad. We do have a slight slowdown through the construction zone on the west eastbound side in between Jarvis and Cherry, where they're doing that long-term construction, and you do go down just to 2 lanes. No other problems on any of the major routes. We're pretty much up to speed on all of them. Just keep in mind the roads could be slick in some spots due to the weather. Flood or sewer backup, Roto-Rooter's plumbing and drain specialist will clean up, disinfect, and restore everything back to its original condition. Roto-Rooter, #1 in the #2 business since 1935. Your next report is at 12:01, and with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, tonight will be yet another chilly night. We'll see temperatures dip down below the freezing mark. We will also end up seeing a few flurries that will continue to go on and off again, but we're not expecting any major accumulations, anywhere between a trace to upwards of 2 centimeters possible, just enough to make some sidewalks as well as some roadways a little slippery. So you should be careful as you head out for your evening plans for tonight. Now, tomorrow, we are going to end up seeing a mix of rain as well as some freezing rain. Even a few flurries are possible. We'll see a high of +2 degrees. Keep in mind, our average high this time of year should be around -2. So we will be slightly above normal. And then by Monday, we'll improve to a high of +6 degrees with lots of sunshine. And then Tuesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high of +3. Our overnight low tonight is -1.
In downtown Toronto right now, it's 0, but it feels like -6 with an overcast sky. And over at Toronto Pearson International, -1, feeling more like -7. Coming up at the top of the hour, rather, the latest on the party inside a Toronto Airbnb gone wrong. 3 men are now dead after shots rang out and 2 are injured. 680 News Time, 11:53.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Urosec Cream and Lotion. Is winter weather irritating your skin? Urosec Cream and Lotion is dermatologist recommended to provide temporary relief for dry, cracked skin. Available at your local pharmacy. Visit urosec.com. To be sure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
At Muskoka Woods, they believe that reflecting on positive experiences helps kids grow in confidence, and that starts with fun.
The best thing about Muskoka Woods is probably the wide array of activities they offer. For me, fun is art, and I love the artistic activities. I like that because it's a really social time, so you get to know your friends better.
Great staff, activities, and facilities like no other, combined for unlimited confidence-boosting fun. Muskoka Woods, experience for a lifetime. Visit MuskokaWoods.com.
Muskoka Woods.
This is the 680 News event calendar.
Visit Canada's #1 Camp Expo this Saturday only at Roy Thompson Hall. The Our Kids Toronto Camp Expo features the very best camps and programs from around your city. If you're considering a camp or a program for your kids, this is the best place to start your search. Register now for free admission up to 4 people.
Check out the 680 News events page for more at 680news.com.
Coming up in just 60 seconds, we'll have your 680 News Weekend Business Report. 680 News Time, 11:55.
Did you miss filing your taxes? Did you let one year turn into many? Boxes of paper, lost documents, disorganized, confused. Don't know where to start? What to do next? We do. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants. We deal with this every day. It's never too late. Start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now at pound tax. That's the pound sign tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca.
Szechuan Express wishes you happy Chinese New Year. Bring in the year of the auspicious rat with all your favorite Chinese dishes to go, including Szechuan Express's legendary Szechuan chicken or crispy ginger beef. And visit Szechuan Express's newest locations at Fairview Mall and Hillcrest
Express Mall. Cater your next event in downtown Toronto with Szechuan Express. Get delicious Chinese cuisine to go. Visit SzechuanExpress.ca for a location near you. Gong Hei Fat Choi from Szechuan Express.
680 News Time, 11:56. It's now time for your weekend business report.
I'm Chris McCusker. Roughly 3 in 10 Canadian business leaders are pessimistic about our economy over the next 12 months. The data comes from the Chartered Professional Accountants of Canada. Francis Fong is the chief economist.
This is the second consecutive decline in economic optimism we've seen over the past little while, and I think it speaks to the numerous challenges that I think Canada is facing, both domestically and globally. I mean, even we can just rattle off a few of the issues that we were dealing with in the final quarter of last year. I mean, we had a major vote in the UK on a new government in the direction of Brexit. We had our own election. And there, at the center of it all, there was a huge flare-up in U.S.-China trade tensions that was leading to many to consider the possibility that this might lead to recession globally and here in Canada.
Now, some of those concerns have gone away, but now we've got the coronavirus.
From an economics perspective, I think what we'll be looking at is to what extent, how many people are going to get infected, what does it do to absentee rates and possibly mortality rates and things of that nature. Those are obviously going to have a huge economic impact. But certainly, I think this is going to put another wrench in what is already a very politically uncertain time.
The survey also shows 45% are neither optimistic nor pessimistic. So might that suggest they're taking a wait-and-see approach?
That I don't think is necessarily a good thing either. I mean, a cautious attitude also means that investment intentions may be delayed. It may be hiring decisions may be delayed. A lot depends on businesses to be optimistic about the future, to continue to grow and to hire and to continue on as business as usual. So uncertainty actually is a very limiting factor.
Francis Fong is with the Chartered Professional Accountants of Canada. And at the Business Centre, I'm Chris McCusker.
That business report was brought to you by IA Clarington Investment.
Excitement is right around the corner at Casino Woodbine. More excitement than King Street on a Saturday. More rush than the Falls. More lights than Yonge and Dundas. More fun is just minutes away. Casino Woodbine, Toronto's home for gaming and entertainment. Must be 19 plus. Rewards membership required. If you gamble, play smart.
Some live to ski. Others ski to live. Introducing Bluemont. Blue Mountain Chalet living on 60-foot executive lots. Steps from the mountain. A lifetime of memories awaits you and your family. Chalets from $890,000. For more information or directions to our sales office, visit Fremont.com.
For your regional weather conditions right now in Mississauga, mostly cloudy, -1. It is snowing pretty much all across the board. Oakville, Oshawa, Richmond Hill, Uxbridge, Stouffville, and Vaughan, all -1, and we're all seeing some snow. In downtown Toronto right now, it's 0. It feels like -6 with an overcast sky. Joey Keeney was our audio editor this evening. Tim Chapman was our editor. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. You can listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know. I'm Carlin Donahue, and on behalf of Eden DeBebe and myself, thank you for listening and have a great weekend. At the sound of the tone, 680 News Time, midnight.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather, this is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Sunday, February the 2nd. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. And I'm Jordan Coulter. Here's what's making news this hour. The coronavirus outbreak has claimed the first victim outside of China. The deceased was visiting the Philippines. Air Canada passengers are sounding the alarm after a 13-hour flight from China had no running water.
A deadly shooting has claimed the lives of 3 young adults. It happened at an Airbnb. I'll give you the details coming up.
And we'll take a look at an in-depth look into the 2020 Conservative leadership debate campaign.
Jason Spencer with a big goal against his former team at the Battle of Ontario. Needed overtime. The Winnipeg Jets get a big win over the reigning champs, and North Powell out indefinitely. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, a spotlight on small business. A business owner in Woodbridge, Ontario, takes her clothing boutique online.
680 News Time, 12:01. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Good morning, Michael Ranger.
Good morning, Madison. Good morning, Jordan. This report brought to you by 407 ETR. We're looking at a very quiet drive on all the major highways throughout the GTA. The 401 in pretty good shape across the city. We've just got a couple spots where we're seeing some minor delays, and it's because of construction. On the eastbound 401, as you approach Brock Street, they've taken the 2 right lanes there for road work, so a little bit slow through that stretch. And as part of that construction, the Brock Street ramps onto the highway are closed as well. And looking at the other side of the highway westbound, pretty much in the same spot, just west of Dixon, 2 left lanes gone for construction there. And again, it's a little bit slow through that stretch, but once you're beyond that, once you get west of Brock Street, things get back up to speed, and the rest of the drive on the westbound 401 is in good shape. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, no delays. Same thing with the 404. If you're coming in or out of downtown right now, DVP northbound and southbound, it's up to speed. So is the Gardner. We've just got that long-term construction going on in the Gardner where it's down to 2 lanes between York Street and the DVP. And just a reminder, as part of that construction, the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW up to speed in both directions. 403, 410, 427 are all moving well. Again, all major routes up to speed. Not seeing any serious issues on city streets either. Just make sure if you're out on the roads that you're exercising caution driving according to the conditions, because we do have some slippery roads at this time. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Your next traffic report is at 12:11 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
Waking up to some snowfall pushing in early this morning, and we do have the risk of freezing drizzle. We're looking at trace amounts to up to 3 centimeters. A rain-snow mix by the afternoon and evening as temperatures begin to warm up. Your high today is 2 degrees.
Right now, downtown
Freezing
Toronto, we are
drizzle.
sitting at
Drizzle.
0 degrees under an overcast sky.
I don't know
However,
what
it is
drizzle means.
feeling
Is that
more
just
like
rain?
-6, and taking a look
Freezing
over
rain.
Pearson Airport, overcast skies,
With drizzle
-1,
implies it's gonna
feeling
feel
more like
like shit while
-7.
it's happening.
680 News Time, 12:03.
We begin with news this hour from the Philippines, where the novel coronavirus has claimed its first victim outside of China. Bloomberg reports that a 44-year-old man in the Philippines died today
How many
from the
people fit on a
virus. He
plane?
was apparently
200,
a
300,
Wuhan
300?
resident who recently traveled to the Philippines.
250
The
round
man's
number.
38-year-old
4 planes,
female
6,000 people.
companion, also from Wuhan, tested positive for the virus and remains in hospital isolation in Manila. She's the second case in the Philippines. This means that in total, 304 people have recently died from the novel coronavirus. China has recorded 2,590 cases as of Saturday.
How did the second
Meantime,
person
the
get it?
latest
Hold
revelation
on.
in Canadian concerns surrounding the coronavirus comes from a 13-hour Air Canada flight from Beijing to Toronto. A passenger on board told CBC News the flight had no running water. Instead, they were offered antiseptic wipes, which ran out 4 hours into the flight. Hand washing is routinely listed as one of the best ways to prevent the spread of the contraction of the coronavirus. An internal memo from the Air Canada Union said the choice to fly without water was unacceptable. 680 News Time, 12:04. 3 young men are dead after a party at an Airbnb turned violent in the City Place neighborhood. Shots rang out in the high-rise building on Queens Wharf Road near Fort York Boulevard and Bathurst Street just before 10:30 Friday night. 680's Joey Keeney joins us with the story.
A 21-year-old, 20-year-old, and a 19-year-old were shot and killed, along with another 20-year-old who is still seriously hurt. 2 died at the scene. The other later died in hospital. And a 5th victim, who police say is a witness, wasn't hit by gunfire but suffered a minor injury. Police say they aren't searching for any suspects at this time, and no arrests have been made, as they believe the shooters are among the deceased. Constable Alex Lee with Toronto Police says the victims have been identified.
We've identified 3 deceased male parties. The first one is Jalen Colley, 21 of Brampton, Joshua Gibson Skier, 20 years of age of Brampton, and finally it's Tyrone Noseworthy, he's 19 of Toronto.
Airbnb put out a statement in response to this incident saying the safety of our community is our priority, and we are urgently investigating this incident to understand if an Airbnb guest or host was involved. I'm Joey Keeney.
Meanwhile, we took to the streets to see what people in Toronto had to say at that City Place condo shooting. One woman said because the Airbnbs are seemingly everywhere and frequently used for parties, it's hard to feel safe at home.
Even when I'm inside my apartment, I don't think I feel safe, right? Because lots of people think about knocking at my door.
Another man suggested the city looks at the root cause of problem youth such as addiction.
I'm gonna get drunk, I'm gonna get high, right? I'm gonna get idiot, so anything can happen. That's how I think, and that's the only reality.
The shooting left 3 young men dead in the 7th, 8th, and 9th homicides of 2020.
You're listening to 680 News. Meanwhile, York Regional Police continue to investigate after a tow truck driver was shot on the 404 near Markham early this morning. Police say a group of people in a vehicle drove up to and shot at a parked tow truck in the area of Steeles Avenue near the westbound ramp to the northbound 404. The male driver of the parked truck only sustained minor injuries, and the female passenger was unharmed. This is just the latest in a long string of violence within the towing industry in the GTA.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. With several people entering the Conservative leadership race, the race for fundraising begins. 680's Meg Black has more info on how the front runners are raising their money. Well, Peter McKay sure seems to be securing his front-runner status in the Conservative leadership race. Just 1 week after officially launching his campaign, the Toronto Star reports that he submitted the $300,000 required fee to enter the race in full. McKay is well ahead of schedule. Candidates were only required to submit $25,000 by the end of February and the remaining $275,000 by March 25th. The federal party set a higher financial and endorsement requirement for this leadership race compared to those in years prior, a suspected signal of limiting the field to more serious candidates this time around. So far, the 2020 contest looks like a 2-horse race, with McKay and former cabinet minister Erin O'Toole as having the best chance to replace Andrew Scheer, but no word yet on O'Toole's fundraising efforts as of Saturday morning. I'm Meg Black.
680 News Time, 12:08. Last November, a fire on Gosford Boulevard displaced hundreds of residents. Last night, some of those residents received a message from property management saying the 29 units will not be able to be lived in for the foreseeable future. Melissa Connolly from City News joins us with that story.
The notice came as a surprise for the residents affected, which includes a row of units labeled 08 and 09 from the 2nd floor all the way up to the 15th. Now, the notice which we obtained from a resident says the property management has identified the scope of the damage and will likely not be ready for tenancy for the foreseeable future. Now, one tenant we spoke with says she is infuriated with the lack of clarity and communication throughout this entire process.
I didn't do anything to cause all this. I've had no communication from them leading up to this to see that they were making an attempt to, maybe help.
Now, on January 1st, the property management issued a statement to those residents saying that those rows, those 29 units would be ready within a year, but obviously that's not the case now. For City News, I'm Melissa Copley.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News Time, 12:09.
This is 680 News.
So you went out drinking and you did the right thing. You left the car at home. Thank you. But did you know that if you drank a lot and stayed up late, you could still have alcohol in your system the next day and could register a warn, even a fail on a roadside screening device? It can take up to 12 hours or more from the time of your last drink for your BAC to reach 0. And only time, not sleep, coffee, or a shower sobers you up any faster. A message from Arrival App Drive Sober and ChangeTheConversation.ca.
Now, the 680 News gas price update, as MPRO predicted, the price did not budge at midnight. It's holding at just under $1.10 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time, 12:10.
Do you suffer from CRA mail anxiety? Does the sight of a brown envelope make you sweat? Are the envelopes piling up? Don't know where to start? We do at Mark Feldstein and Associates. We deal with this every day. It's time to take control and start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein and Associates, chartered accountants now at pound tax. That's the # tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca. So the next time you see a brown envelope, think pound tax.
As headmaster of St. Andrews College in Aurora, I'm often asked by parents why our school is right for their son.
The second you enter, you know you're a part of something truly amazing. There are tons of arts and extracurricular activities.
71 teams, 21 sports. There are so many opportunities to become a leader. 100% of our students are accepted to university.
The teachers sincerely care. They push you to
It's
do
so
your
long
best.
to read all the articles I pulled up about coronavirus. They were all, I'm not even joking, they were all out of date.
Open house on February 8th.
Details at sac.on.ca.
As I'm going through them. This is
680 News Time, 12:11. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, handing things over to Michael Ranger.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR, where you're looking at a pretty quiet drive on all the major highways. If you are out on the roads, just make sure you're exercising caution. We've got some slippery conditions on some of the roads. Make sure you're driving according to those conditions. But again, in terms of delays, all the major routes are looking pretty good right now in the GTA. We've just got a little bit of overnight construction on the 401. If you're heading eastbound on the 401 as you approach Brock Street, road work happening in the 2 right lanes. We were seeing some delays through that stretch, but it looks like things are pretty much back up to speed now. Traffic may be slowing down just slightly, but again, very, very minor delays at this point. Other side of the highway, westbound, in the same place, west of Thixon, we've got roadwork happening in the 2 left lanes. Again, that was causing delays earlier, but it looks like things are back up to speed. Another mention about the eastbound 401 construction. Because of that spot of construction, the Brock Street ramps onto the highway are closed as well. Again, that's the only spot right now on the 401 where we've got any issue at all. The rest of the drive in either direction is up to speed.
Thank you.
Looking at your other major routes, Highway 400 northbound and southbound, it's looking good. 404 DVP is well up to speed in either direction. So is the Gardner QEW. 403, 410, 427 are all up to speed at this
Artificial
time.
intelligence
This year,
cannot mimic
407
that.
ETR is
That
adding 30
slips out.
kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Your next traffic report is at 12:21. Now with the forecast, here's Michelle Nelson.
Another Clipper system makes its way through today. That's going to bring us some light snow beginning this morning. We're looking at 1 to 3 centimeters for most of the GTA. More mixing closer to the lakeshore. Into the afternoon, it's going to be a rain-snow mix. That's as temperatures warm up to 2 degrees. Monday, warming up even more. We're looking at a daytime high near 5 degrees and some sunshine. Your high today is +2.
Downtown Toronto, right now it is 0, feeling like -6 with some light snow in the sky, and over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -1, feeling like -7. Well, Valentine's Day is coming up fast, and Milton is ready to spread the love, giving children the opportunity to stay active. Anyone who's welcome to purchase Valentines that are being sold at the Milton Sports or Leisure Center and the Sherwood Community Center. The fee is $5 for 10 Valentines, which offer free simming or skating at local businesses. These Valentines can be redeemed by children 12 or younger starting on February 14th and ending June 30th of 2020. Milton has also organized Valentine's Day activities on February 14th for kids aged 6 to 13. Still to come on 680 News, the latest on the trial Harvey Weinstein. 680 News time, 12:13.
Hi, it's Ivanka Osmak. Normally, I'm a sports anchor for Sportsnet, but today I'm spreading the news about Sleep Country's Aqua Gel pillow. To be honest, I'd never even heard of a gel pillow before their sleep experts suggested I try it out, and I'm glad they did. The pillow is so comfortable. It's made with a water-based gel, so it's a super breathable alternative to memory foam that cradles your neck and keeps you cool. I've always been a little picky about my pillow, but that was totally embraced when I went to Sleep Country. Their sleep experts are sleep obsessed. It was amazing to see all the options they could recommend based on just a few things I told them about my sleeping habits. So really, no matter how you sleep, I'm sure they'll be able to recommend a great pillow to you. Plus, right now, when you buy one Aqua Gel pillow, you get a second Aqua Gel pillow free. Get matched to your perfect pillow at Sleep Country or order online at sleepcountry.ca today. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's 0 with some light snow in the sky. Good morning. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick in the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. Here are the top stories this hour. A 44-year-old man from the Philippines has died from the novel coronavirus, making his death the first in a country outside of China. He was apparently a Wuhan resident who recently traveled to the Philippines. This means that in total, 304 people have died from the virus. Toronto police continue to understand a triple shooting in the downtown core. The shooting happened at an Airbnb just before 10:30 Friday night. Police are asking witnesses to come forward. And coming up after sports.
The move in South Dakota to ban minors from gender reassignment procedures. I'm ABC's Dave Packer. That's coming up.
680 News Time, 12:15. Now, 680 Sports are brought to you by the 2020 Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank. From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Colin Teskey.
Battle of Ontario from Scotiabank Arena. Leafs facing the Ottawa Senators. Mark Borowiecki would open the scoring for Ottawa, but Jason Spezza tied the game on the power play, and Spezza spending 611 games in a Senators uniform. That's where we'd stand after regulation, so we needed overtime.
It back to Marner. Marner to Nylander to Marner, and a shot score! Holy mackerel! Aliso winning it overtime!
Mitch Marner gets the game-winning goal. The Maple Leafs escape with 2 points, 2-1. The final. Elsewhere in the NHL, a big win for the Winnipeg Jets. They beat the reigning champs 5-2. The Flyers over the Avalanche 6-3. The Rangers shut up the Red Wings 1-0. And the Montreal Canadiens do a huge favor to the Maple Leafs. They beat the Panthers 4-0. And Panthers forward Alexander Barkov left that game with a lower body injury. Norm Powell out indefinitely as the Raptors resume action. HD Chicago Bulls. Sports 15 and 45 past per hour, or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 12:16.
The world's biggest tennis stars battle it out this summer at the Aviva Center in Toronto. Reigning champion Rafa Nadal, homegrown Canadian talent Denis Shapovalov and Felix Auger-Aliassime, and four-time winner Novak Djokovic. With so much to love, don't miss the Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank. Single session tickets on sale now. Book now at RogersCup.com.
License 10349. It's a slap in the face. Your bank refused your mortgage. Don't get mad. Call Northwood Mortgage. Northwood Mortgage takes a closer look at your financial picture, property equity, past record, promise of performance, and more. Northwood Mortgage does everything they can to approve the mortgage you need. That's their business. Northwood Mortgage. Visit NorthwoodMortgage.com.
We're working harder for you. In health and lifestyle news, the second week of testimony at Harvey Weinstein's rape trial ended on a bit of a cliffhanger.
A key witness is being brought back Monday for more cross-examination. The woman Weinstein is charged with raping testified Friday, giving a vivid account of fraught interactions with this once revered Hollywood producer. But court adjourned for the weekend before Weinstein's lawyers got a chance to confront her with what they consider smoking gun evidence that points to a consensual relationship, not a crime. Weinstein has insisted that any sexual encounters were consensual. The trial is moving faster than expected and could wrap up by mid-February. Julie Walker, New York.
680 News Time, 12:18. A Western state legislator pushes forward a bill targeting the doctors of transgender minors.
The Republican-controlled South Dakota House of Representatives advancing a bill that would make it illegal for medical professionals to perform gender reassignment procedures on a minor or to administer hormones and puberty blockers to patients under 16. Doctors who go against the policy could go to jail. The bill's sponsor, Representative Fred Deutsch, calling transgender medical procedures a crime against humanity, comparing them to experiments performed during the Holocaust. South Dakota House Minority Leader Jamie Smith saying Deutsch's comment was disgusting. The ACLU promising to go to court if the bill becomes law. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Reassignments.
680 News Time, 12:19 rather. Democratic candidates are in a sprint to the finish ahead of the Iowa caucus on Monday.
Outside of Bernie Sanders' event, and yet 2 days before the big moment, several people here still don't quite know who they're going to support.
So between either Sanders and Buttigieg.
Some, though, don't even plan to make up their mind ahead of time.
Usually we do that at the caucus, you know.
You could literally make up your mind on the spot.
Absolutely.
And that's not just voter paralysis. Remember, when you show up at 7 p.m. local time on Monday, you can literally see the vote taking shape in the room. And depending on the numbers,
I plan to have a second choice and a third choice.
You might have the chance to put someone over the top. Brett Milkey, ABC News,
He was
Cedar
about to
Rapids,
say
Iowa.
fourth choice.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the One 680 News Time, 12:20.
Why shop the box stores for a new garage door when you've got Dodds garage doors available? Dodds has been serving the GTA and you with well-priced garage doors and openers for over 60 years, offering the Dodds exclusive Platinum Series and other quality brands like CHI overhead doors. Contact Dodds, DODDS, for 24/7 emergency repair service at doddsdoors.com.
Remember, no one does it better than Dodds does. No one! If you have unfiled taxes, this message is for you. With the government running massive deficits, CRA is cracking down harder than ever before. It is only a matter of time until they find you. CRA can garnish your wages, empty your bank account, lien your house, or recommend criminal prosecution. If you made a mistake, it's not too late. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now at Pound Tax. That's the pound sign, tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca.
680 News Time, 12:21. Time for traffic and weather together on the Ones in the 680 News Traffic Center. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report's brought to you by 407 ETR. We've got a very quiet drive on the major highways in the GTA. We've just got a little bit of overnight construction that we're dealing with, but it's not causing any delays with delayed traffic on the roads. Spots where we're seeing construction, eastbound 401 heading through Whitby, right at Broad Street. We've got crews working in the 2 right lanes, so it's just a single left lane that's getting through. But again, roads are lightly traveled at this hour, so it's not causing any delays. But as part of that construction, the Broad Street ramp onto the eastbound 401, that is shut down right now. Other side of the highway, westbound, construction in pretty much the same spot, just west of Dixon, crews working in the 2 left lanes, and we've got a ramp closure there as well. The southbound Dixon ramp onto the westbound 401 is closed. It's the only issues on the 401, rest of the drive, again, up to speed all the way across the city. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, no delays there. 404 DVP, same thing, northbound and southbound, it's all up to speed. Gardner's looking good in both directions. Reminder, we do have that long-term construction on the Gardner where it is down to 2 lanes in both directions between York Street and the DVP. And as part of that construction, the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW's up to speed in either direction, 403, 410, 427, all up to speed. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Your next traffic report is at 12:31 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
A heads up, if you're traveling today for Super Bowl Sunday, watch out for some slick roads. It's going to be mostly cloudy starting off the day, and then snow pushes in this morning. The chance of some freezing drizzle early on, then snow changing to a rain-snow mix by the afternoon. We'll clear out late tonight with 1 to 3 centimeters expected for most of the GTA. Monday, sun and cloud with a high near +5, well above seasonal. Tuesday, it's going to be cloudy, +1 for your high with the chance of flurries. Your high today is 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, 0, feeling like -6 with some light snow. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -1, feeling like -7. Remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $14,200. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the latest victim of the coronavirus, making his death the first outside of China. 680 News Time, 12:23.
When it comes to performing your best, you watch what you eat.
He was sick and old and apparently dying. How the fuck
You know the importance of a good night's sleep. But what about the chair you sit in all day? If you sit while you work, your office chair has a significant effect on your health and productivity. Ergocentric
You go
office
straight from
chairs
no
are
symptoms to
recommended by
dying?
94% of
Fuck, is it story, man? Gotta
To
know.
learn more,
Gotta
visit
know.
ergocentric.com. Or better yet, get up and visit our showroom and store at the King Edward Hotel.
Somewhere beyond the headlines lies the big story. Hosted by veteran Canadian journalist Jordan Keith Rawlings. The Big Story, available wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe now.
Internet, motherfucker.
Super Bowl 54 is shaping up to be the costliest ever in terms of ticket prices.
On StubHub, even the upper-level end zone seats at Hard Rock Stadium are priced above $5,000, and it only goes up from there. Chiefs fan Forrest Cole brought his family of 4 from Kansas City.
We got nosebleed seats. The cheapest tickets cost me $22,400.
Add in travel, hotel, and food, and this is a $35,000 trip. But Forrest Cole's father died last year and left his son a truck, which he sold for $22,000 to at least buy the tickets. Cole says his dad would be okay with that.
He was a huge Chiefs fan.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
My grandfather would kick my
Your
fucking
business
ass
report
if I
is
did
just
that.
60 seconds away. 6 City News time, 12:25.
You're catering a wedding, and the bride says,
Everyone is raving about the hors d'oeuvres. My aunt was asking if you do corporate events.
you look out across all those guests. Your smile beams, your heart pounds.
There were homeless
This is the
people a
moment
few
when
years
the
ago
right
who wanted
business card is essential.
tickets.
And
They
Vistaprint
didn't want
can
to sell
help.
them, they wanted to
Right now,
go.
we're introducing free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. So now imagine that same wedding, but this time you're ready to own the now with a stack of business cards that are as enticing as your entrees. And Vistaprint caters to any small business. You choose the paper, the shape, and the finish. Go with a square card, or maybe one with rounded corners and a metallic finish. Whatever
I
your
want a
style,
triangle.
create a card that gives you the confidence to make the most of every opportunity. Because either you let things happen, or you make things happen. Start now at Vistaprint.ca and get free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. Use promo
Here,
code
take my card.
6262 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.ca. Promo code 6262.
Really, it's sort of it's a
Limited time
persona
only.
and an image to sell.
Now, the 6 City News Weekend Business Report with
You pay
a
5
focus on
cents
small
to
business
fucking-
brought to you by Scotia Business Banking. Anto Martino, fashion designer, married to
I
Petey,
have your
opened the
card. I
doors
have
to her
60 your
successful
card.
clothing
Here,
boutique
take my card.
Michonneau in Woodbridge, Ontario, almost 30 years ago. In an effort to keep up with the times, she recently took her business online.
So I pondered the idea for the past 3 years, I'd say 3 or 4 years now, and I went back and forth. I struggled with the idea of doing it because I feel like my consumer would like to see, touch, and try it on. On the other hand, I thought it was the way to go because that's the way business is going and retail is going, and I feel like I didn't want to miss that opportunity.
So she says she took the plunge.
November of 2019 is when we started and launched it, and it was a lot of work, and I hired a company to set it up, as well as my employees
don't
are
pay people to do
younger
shit like
and
that. They don't know what they're doing
computer
either.
savvy,
They'd
did a
start
lot
their
of
own
work for
business.
that, and we set it up as best we could.
The Petey admits there have been some challenges.
I've never done it, but it was a great learning experience, and it was a little bit of hair pulling, but it was, it's up and running. It's available to people that can't come shopping, can't come to the store.
She has this advice for any small business owner who is thinking about taking his or her business online.
So I think if you can invest the time and the money to start it up, it's never going to hurt your business. And I think that just take the plunge and do it. You're never going to lose from it, and it just brings you a broader scope of customer.
Mary DePede is the owner of Michonneau in Woodbridge, Ontario. With a spotlight on small business, I'm Phil Martino.
This is your breaking news station, 680 News.
You can call your business whatever you want, but
Normally, I'm a sports anchor for
I can't see
Sportsnet, but
it in writing.
today
I don't
I'm
know how to
spreading the
fucking spell
news
that.
about Sleep Country's Aquagel pillow. To be honest, I'd never even heard of a gel pillow before their sleep experts suggested I try it out, and I'm glad they did. The pillow is so comfortable. It's made with a water-based gel, so it's a super breathable alternative to memory foam that cradles your neck and keeps you cool. I've always been a little picky about my pillow, but that was totally embraced when I went to Sleep Country. Their sleep experts are sleep obsessed. It was amazing to see all the options they could recommend based on just a few things I told them about my sleeping habits. So really, no matter how you sleep, I'm sure they'll be able to recommend a great pillow to you. Plus, right now, when you buy one Aquagel pillow, you get a second Aquagel pillow free. Get matched to your perfect pillow at Sleep Country or order online at sleepcountry.ca today. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
You can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
Taking a look at your business travelers forecast in Montreal, overcast -5. Las Vegas, windy and a high of 15. Orlando, clear and 13. Boston, overcast and 2. Back in Canada now, Winnipeg, clear sky and -6. Downtown Toronto right now, it's 0, feeling like -6 with some light snow. And over at Pierce Newport, similar conditions there, -1, feeling like -7. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. You can listen 3, 4, 5 times a day and always be in the know. 680 News time, it's 1 o'clock.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Sunday, February 2nd. I'm Jordan Coulter. And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour. The death toll from the coronavirus has risen after a Wuhan resident recently traveled to the Philippines, bringing the number of deaths to 304.
Why did you go? Why did you leave Wuhan?
Police say there are no outstanding parties and no arrests have been made after a deadly shooting in the City Place neighborhood. 3 young men were killed.
It's back to the bargaining table for the province and the Catholic school teachers as they try to reach an agreement before another strike on Tuesday. And another subway closure to be mindful of this weekend.
Jason Spezza gets a goal against his former team, but the Maple Leafs and Senators went down to overtime in the Battle of Ontario, and Norm Powell out indefinitely for the Raptors. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, Canadian Curiosity in Vapes is lighting up as more next-gen pop products hit shelves. We'll hear from an expert on how education is key to the cannabis industry's success.
City News Time, 12:31. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Looking at a very quiet drive if you're out on the major routes in the GTA. 401 up to speed all the way across the city in either direction. We've just got a little bit of construction heading through Durham region. Eastbound 401 approaching Brock Street. 2 right lanes gone for road work there. That was causing some delays earlier, but everything is back up to speed through that stretch now. As part of that construction, the Brock Street ramp onto the eastbound 401 is closed. Other side of the highway, we've got some road work happening in pretty much the same spot, just west of Dixon on the westbound 401. Crews working in the 2 left lanes. And that, again, was causing some delays earlier, but with the light traffic now, things are back up to speed. As part of that construction, southbound Dixon ramp onto the highway is shut down. Those are the only issues on the 401. Looking at your other major routes, 404, DVP, northbound and southbound, it's all up to speed. If you're coming in or out of downtown on the Gardner, no delays there. We've just got that long-term construction on the Gardner, so just a reminder to drivers, the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW is up to speed in either direction. We do have a stalled vehicle on the westbound QEW west of Appleby line. Crews are on scene blocking the right lane. We've got a couple maintenance vehicles and a tow truck. No delays, just a visual distraction at this point, so something to look out for as you drive through that stretch. All the other major routes are up to speed right now. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Your next traffic report is at 12:41 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
Snow pushes in this morning. We're looking at a chance of freezing drizzle. Watch out for some slick roads and sidewalks. Your morning low near -2. It's going to feel more like -6. A rain-snow mix by the afternoon. It's not a high-impact system. We're looking at 1 to 3 centimeters of snow for most of the GTA. Your high today is 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now, 0, feeling like -6 with some light snow. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -1, feeling like -7. 680 News Time, 12:33. News from the Philippines, where a 44-year-old man has died from the novel coronavirus. According to Bloomberg, this brings the death toll from the coronavirus to 304 people. This man was reportedly a Wuhan resident who recently traveled to the Philippines. All the deaths occurred within China's Hubei province, where the virus originated. The region reporting 45 more deaths on Saturday. Across China, the total number of cases in the country is up to 14,380. About 100 cases have been identified outside China, with the UK, US, Russia, and Germany all confirming cases in recent days. Meanwhile, authorities in Hubei extended the Lunar New Year holiday to the 13th of February, and marriage registrations will be put on hold in an effort to discourage public gatherings.
There's people who
Meanwhile,
fucking 50 years from now, their anniversary is going to be on a different date than what they wanted.
Warnings from the World Health Organization are that other countries need to prepare in the event the disease spreads among their populations. The official news agency
reported 6 officials in the city of Huanggang, neighboring the epicenter of Wuhan in Hubei province, have been fired over poor performance in handling the outbreak. It cited the mayor as saying the city's capabilities to treat the patients remained inadequate, and there is a severe shortage in medical supplies such as protective suits and medical masks. Despite imposing drastic travel restrictions at home, China has chafed at those imposed by other governments. Authorities extended the Lunar New Year holiday due to end this week well into February.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. A triple homicide in the City Place neighborhood left 3 men dead and 2 injured. Something went wrong during an Airbnb party in a high-rise building on Queens Wharf Road near Fort York Boulevard in Bathurst. Police have now released the information of the victims. 680's Joy Keeney has the details.
A 19, 20, and 21-year-old men were shot. 2 of them were pronounced dead at the scene, and the 3rd died in hospital. They have since been identified as Tyrone Noseworthy, Joshua Gibson Skier, and Jalen Colley. A 4th man is still in hospital with serious gunshot wounds, and a 5th man, a witness, according to police, wasn't shot, only suffered minor injuries. Constable Alex Lee with Toronto Police says investigators aren't looking for any more suspects.
I want to reassure the public that we are not looking for any outstanding suspects. Our investigators, with the evidence that they've gathered, interviews, and speaking with witnesses, we believe that the shooters involved are now deceased.
Police also confirming that the shooting happened at a condo unit acting as an Airbnb. I'm Joey Keeney.
There has to be video.
Meanwhile, with Toronto being a hot spot for Airbnb locations, people in the city are left feeling uneasy about Friday night's shooting. One man is calling out Airbnb's ability to keep their renters safe.
It was kind of makes the question of the Airbnb thing more than anything, because I believe it's twice that has happened in that building, so it's a bit disheartening.
Meanwhile, another resident says the government needs to do more.
I didn't bother to check the addresses.
Just ban all the guns, you know. Me myself, I'm so scared.
And she is not alone.
We can always do more. What that is, I mean, to have a ban on guns would probably be the first good step.
Mayor John Tory responded to Friday night's incident, tweeting, "I will be outlining additional proposed investments in neighborhoods to help young people and directly address the root causes of violence." Police are now saying that 2 firearms involved in the shooting have since been recovered.
680 News Time 12:37. The Prime Minister's office has announced Justin Trudeau is jetting off to Ethiopia, Senegal, and Germany. The PMO says the trip will begin next Thursday with the focus of economic opportunity, climate change, democracy, and gender equality. It includes a meeting with Ethiopia's Prime Minister and President and the President of Senegal. He will attend the Munich Security Conference before returning to Canada on Valentine's Day.
How do you pronounce all those Chinese words?
680 News. Peter MacKay is the new front-runner for the Conservative leadership race. The former MP submitted the full $300,000 entrance fee only a week after launching his campaign. The full amount in 2,000 signatures were not actually due until the end of March. But unlike in previous years, this year the party set much higher endorsement and financial requirements. Party members suggest this move was intended to only attract the most serious candidates. MacKay and Durham MP Aaron O'Toole appear to be the top 2 contenders for winning the job.
680 News Time, 12:38. Catholic school teachers are going back to the bargaining table. Talks between the province and the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association will resume on Monday. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says the compensation appears to be the key issue for all teachers' unions. However, the union is happy to get back to the bargaining, but province-wide strike action may be inevitable on Tuesday if a deal isn't reached. Teachers' unions, including OECTA, say they are against mandatory e-learning requirements and increasing class sizes.
680 News Time, 12:39. TTC service disruptions continue today. There's no service on Line 1, that's the Young University line, between Finch and Eglinton stations. Crews are working on the signaling system. Shuttle buses and Wheel-Trans will be running. Service is expected to resume in time for the Monday morning commute.
Oh, of course. You got to get
Still to come on 680 News, we'll have traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time, 12:39.
It's nice to have a guarantee that your money will grow because your kids are guaranteed to grow.
Mom,
My shoes are too small. Thankfully, HSBC Bank offers a GIC with 2.18% interest, so you'll be ready for anything.
Mom, my shoes are too small. Again?
Take a step towards financial wellness today. Get 2.18% per annum on a 218-day non-redeemable GIC for new deposits. For full details, visit hsbc.ca/grow. HSBC Bank. Together we thrive.
When you need to know, now.
680news.com.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price of gas did not change at midnight, holding it just under $1.10 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time, 1240.
Every small to medium-sized business has one. The IT guy that isn't really an IT guy that everyone depends on to fix their IT problems.
At first, it was no big deal. Just people looking to change a password or print something. Next thing I know, we're talking DDoS attacks, cloud migration, and something called autocation.
Oh, boy.
Do you have any idea how much money this company loses every time the server goes down?
As a matter of fact...
Who do these people think I am? Some kind of tech-head ninja code-writing cloud hosting guru?
Actually, that sounds exactly like us.
I'm the president.
Again.
I don't have time for this.
That's okay, because we do. We're Apps on Net.
Apps on what?
Apps on Net. And we're it when it comes to managed IT services for small to medium-sized business.
Go on.
Endpoint support, network security, proactive maintenance.
Cloud hosting?
100%.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Sold.
Get the relief you need with IT support from Apps on Net. Visit us online at allgainnopane.ca or call 1-855-255-4667. That's 1-855-ALL-G-NO-P.
All-G-No-P. That's what got me last
680 News Time, 1241. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report is brought to you by Nissan Canada. We've still got a very quiet drive if you're out on the major highways in the GTA. We've got a couple of issues. Westbound QEW west of Appleby line, stalled vehicle in the right lane. We've got a couple maintenance vehicles, tow truck on scene. No delays with the light traffic, just a visual distraction going by the flashing lights. Some of the cars are slowing down slightly. So again, just watch out for that. If you are traveling westbound on the QEW, it's just west of Appleby line where the right lane is blocked because of that stalled vehicle. All major routes up to speed again. 401 in great shape all the way across the city. We do have a little bit of construction as you head through Durham region in either direction. Eastbound 401 at Brock Street, crews working in the two right lanes. As part of that construction, the Brock Street ramp onto the highway is closed. Then as we look at the other side of the highway, southbound Thixon ramp to the westbound 401 is closed, and then west of Thixon, the two left lanes are gone for road work, but again, roads lightly traveled. So neither of those construction spots are causing delays. 404 DVP northbound and southbound, it is up to speed. So is the Gardner QEW again moving fine. We're just dealing with that stalled vehicle west of Appleby line on the westbound QEW. 403, 410, 427, all up to speed right now. Be a winter warrior with Nissan. Lease or finance a cash guy or kicks and get up to 3 payments on Nissan up to $1,000. Visit choosenissan.ca. Your next traffic report is at 12:51 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
We're looking at yet another weekend system. More snow is on the way this morning. We do have the risk of some freezing drizzle mixed in early on. Light snowfall then changing to a rain snow mix by the afternoon, so a bit messy out there. We're looking at afternoon and evening temps around 2-3 degrees and some gusty southwesterly winds. We will clear out tonight and then some sunshine for Monday. Monday is looking great with a daytime high near 5 degrees. Your high today is +2.
Right now, downtown Toronto, we are sitting at 0 degrees, although it feels more like -6, and we're seeing some light snow. And now taking a look over at Pearson Airport, light snow, -1, feeling more like -7. Still to come on 680 News, an arrest has been made in a hate crime investigation into the defacement of an Indigenous painting on an Ottawa campus. 680 News Time, 12:43.
No, you gotta
I joined because I wanted to help others.
To be a part of something bigger.
To show my kids what's important.
I joined to make my community stronger.
To make a difference in someone's life.
To acknowledge that our freedoms come at a cost.
I joined to honor my mom.
My grandpa.
My neighbor.
Everyone who served.
Who are serving still. Honoring veterans is our duty. Join today at legion.ca/join. I've got to buy new equipment for my business.
I want to increase my online sales. I wish I could expand my team.
I want to see my business move forward.
Things can move fast when you're in business. And at BDC, we understand entrepreneurs. With our 100% online small business loan, you could quickly make your project a reality. Go to bdc.ca/online loan. Apply in minutes and get up to $100,000 within 48 hours of approval. Apply now at bdc.ca/online loan.
Really?
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's currently 0 degrees. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Jordan Coulter. Here are the top stories this hour. The coronavirus has claimed another life, raising the death toll to 304. A 44-year-old resident of Wuhan died from the virus after a trip to the Philippines. Toronto police are investigating a triple homicide on Friday night at an Airbnb in the City Place neighborhood. According to police, 2 of the firearms from the scene have been recovered. And coming up after sports, Toronto police are offering a behind-the-scenes look at what they do to keep the city safe. 680 News Time, 12:45. Now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Colin Pesky.
Battle of Ontario, Maple Leafs hosting the Ottawa Senators, and Mark Borowiecki opened the scoring for Ottawa with his 7th of this season. But Jason Spencer spent 611 games in a Senator uniform, finally got to face his former team for the first time in Maple Leafs colors.
And Hyman gets the puck back to the blue line. It comes to Spencer, and the shot scores!
Joe Bowen on the Leafs radio network. Spencer tied the game at 1. Regulation would solve nothing. In overtime, the Senators failed to capitalize on the power play. Then Senators defenseman Mike Riley took a penalty with just over a minute to play in the extra frame. Mitch Marner nets your game winner to win the final. For the Maple Leafs, other winners, the Winnipeg Jets scored a 5-2 win over the reigning champs, the St. Louis Blues. Norm Powell out indefinitely as the Raptors get set to face the Bulls. And the Super Bowl is here. Miami, the host city. Kansas City is a 1.5-point favorite over San Francisco. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 12:47.
Something's always coming up. Home improvements, kids' education, car repairs, credit card bills. Maybe you even saw a real deal on an investment property. Well, don't wait for the money to fall from the sky. Call Northwood Mortgage and start taking care of business. Use your home to save money. Pay off your mortgage faster. See why Canadians have turned to Northwood Mortgage for over a quarter of a century.
Sealed for my protection. So you know that the gas station guy isn't taking one page out of every pack. I would if I worked at the gas station. Well, you have to take 2 if I notice.
This summer at the Aviva Center in Toronto.
Why would you ever pay for rolling papers if you sell rolling papers? Just take one off the top of each bag.
And 4-time winner Novak Djokovic. With so much to love, don't miss the Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank.
That's how little I trust people. And somebody
Toronto
must
police
have
are offering
written
a
them a letter.
detailed behind-the-scenes look at what they
No
do
phone
to
number,
fight
there's
crime
an
and
address.
keep the city safe. Registration is now open for the
Address,
spring
right?
session of
Well, I put a
Community
stamp
Police
on this and it'll
Academy.
go back there,
As we
right?
hear from 680's Kevin Meisner, students can expect actual hands-on training.
The Community Police Academy offers a legitimate education on police training. It's in-depth, running 9 Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Constable Jamie Shepard tells me students get a chance to gear up and take part in scenarios based on
Almost
actual
like
Toronto
full-time
police
work,
calls.
They'll be strapped on with a service-issued firearm that is designed for video scenarios. They'll be issued pepper spray, a taser.
The students will also hear from Toronto police experts in everything from
sidearm.
forensics and gang intervention to cyber crime and homicide. In some cases, detectives going directly from the crime scene to the classroom.
It was very interesting where I had one student put up a hand and asked a question to him, and she said, "Didn't I just see you on the news last night?" Our homicide officer said, "Yes, that was me."
The Community Police Academy is free of charge. You can apply on the Toronto Police website. Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time, 12:49. Police have made an arrest in the hate crime investigation into the defacement of an Indigenous painting on an Ottawa campus. Investigators say a 32-year-old man faces one count of mischief over $5,000 in the January 28th vandalism incident at Algonquin College. Officers arrested the man at the college on Saturday. Police say any evidence to support an alleged hate motivation is presented during sentencing. The investigation is ongoing. You're listening to 680 News. An Ontario Indigenous community has overwhelmingly rejected a proposed nuclear waste bunker in their area. Members of the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation voted 85% against the deep geologic repository. Ontario Power Generation has spent years on its plan to store low and intermediate level nuclear waste underground. OPG had wanted to build the multi-billion-dollar facility at the Bruce Nuclear Plant near Kincardine, Ontario. The 4,500-member Indigenous community said it was never consulted when the nuclear industry was established decades ago. Ontario Power Generation says it respects the decision and will seek an alternative solution.
You try digging that hole, we'll put you in
And
it.
coming up on 680 News, we'll have traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News Time, 12:50.
Catholic teachers are fighting to preserve one of the best education systems in the world. We want to give every student a chance to succeed.
The Ontario system or the Catholic Ontario
and
system?
destroying opportunities for students. We need to stop
Why
them
do we have
before
so
it
many
gets
school
worse.
boards?
Critical thinking is one of the most important skills we teach.
Why don't we have more? We should
Separate
have like
facts from
50 of them if we're
Don't
going to have
fall for
4.
this government's misinformation. No more.
Everybody should have their own school board.
knore.ca to help us reverse the cuts. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Auf Wiedersehen, arrivederci, ciao, adios. No matter where in the world you or your customers are, you can say goodbye to boundaries thanks to Adyen, the payments platform that supports payments across the globe. From New York to Shanghai, from Singapore to Sao Paulo, reach more customers in more places with Adyen, the payments platform of choice for the world's leading companies. Adyen, business, not boundaries. Learn more at adyen.com. That's ADYEN.com.
680 News Time, 12:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report brought to you by 407 ETR. It remains a quiet drive if you're out on the major highways in the GTA. Not seeing any delays anywhere. We've just got a little bit of overnight construction on the 401. If you're traveling through Durham region in either direction, eastbound 401 at Brock Street, crews working in the 2 right lanes, so you've just got the single left lane getting through. But with the light traffic at this hour, that isn't causing any delays. As part of that construction, the Brock Street ramp onto the eastbound 401 is closed. Other side of the highway, we've got construction in almost the exact same spot, just west of Thixon, crews working in the 2 left lanes, just a single right lane getting by there, but again, light traffic, so no delays.
Oh, he said it backwards.
I know what he just did. He said 2 right lanes. And that's it for the construction. Rest of the drive on the 401 in either direction, again, in great shape. It's moving fine. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, no delays. 404 DVP, same thing, moving well in either direction. Gardner, eastbound and westbound, there's no delays. We've just got that long-term construction on the Gardner between York Street and the DVP. And as part of that, reminder, the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. We did have a stalled vehicle on the westbound QEW west of Appleby line. It was blocking the right lane. Crews have just taken that away, so everything's opened up there. QEW is moving fine in either direction. 403, 410, 427, all up to speed right now. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Next traffic report is at 101 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
Groundhog Day bringing us a messy wintry mix. It's going to start as snow this morning with the risk of freezing drizzle early on, then changing to a wet rain snow mix by the afternoon. 1 to 3 centimeters expected for most of the GTA, with higher amounts for the Dundalk Highlands and north of the GTA for areas including Barrie. Gusty southwesterly winds ramping up, peak gusts to about 40 kilometers per hour. We will see things clear out tonight and then some sun on Monday, well above seasonal temperatures. We're looking at a high of 5 degrees. Tuesday, cloudy, the chance of flurries, and then we're back down to a seasonal high of -2 midweek. Your high today is +2.
Right now, downtown Toronto, it is 0 degrees, feeling more like -6, and we're looking at some light snow. And over at Toronto Pearson Airport, light snow, -1, feeling more like -7. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have the latest on the death of a 44-year-old man from Wuhan after contracting the coronavirus. 680 News Time, 12:54.
Men, Valentine's Day is a very big deal to women. I'm Esther Morrow of E-Town Florist. From my experience as a floral designer, I can tell you that women are thrilled by a gift of flowers, especially on Valentine's Day, because by giving beautiful flowers, you're saying you're beautiful too. It's so easy. Take care of it now, and we'll take care of the rest. Delivering your fresh Valentine arrangement with loving care. Our family promises.
Our family promises. ETOFlorist.com.
What you need to know. Breaking news. All of this unrelenting rainfall now setting the stage for flooding concerns.
Traffic. We're seeing a lot of problems with ponding and flooding.
Weather.
Under that freezing rain warning, 10 to 20 millimeters of ice accretion by tomorrow morning.
When you need to know.
We're here.
This is 680 News.
Justice for Johnny Depp is trending on Twitter following a Daily Mail exclusive containing an audio confession from his ex-wife. In the tape, Amber Heard admits to hitting Depp while taunting him and threatening to do it again. The troubling episode is one of numerous clashes the couple argued over during the informal 2-hour therapy session recorded consensually on Heard's phone. As part of Depp's $50 million defamation case against Heard, he previously included images of his own bruised and battered face following Heard's alleged attacks. Coming up, we'll have your weekend business for City News Time, 12:55.
You're catering a wedding, and the bride says,
Everyone is raving about the hors d'oeuvres. My aunt was asking if you do corporate events.
You look out across all those guests. Your smile beams, your heart pounds. This is the moment when the right business card is essential, and Vistaprint can help. Right now, we're introducing free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. So now imagine that same wedding, but this time, you're ready to own the now with a stack of business cards that are as enticing as your entrees. And Vistaprint caters to any small business. You choose the paper, the shape, and the finish. Go with a square card, or maybe one with rounded corners and a metallic finish. Whatever your style, create a card that gives you the confidence to make the most of every opportunity. Because either you let things happen, or you make things happen. Start now at Vistaprint.ca and get free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. Use promo code 6262 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.ca. Promo code 6262. Limited time only.
680 News Time, 12:56. Now the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Carl Gardash. As next-generation pot products, including edibles and beverages, are rolled out across the country, Cannabis 2.0 has left a number of Canadians vape curious. Ray Gracewood, Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications at Organogram, says the industry is seeing broad interest for vaping products.
It does create a very convenient and a very discreet experience for consumers. And what we found is that not necessarily specific to any age demographic, gender demographic, and not really specific to any geographic either. So, we'll always have traditional users who really enjoy the ritual of dried flower and combustion. But at the end of the day, there's also great opportunity for vaporizable products for certain social situations.
Oh, you can vaporize this. I just don't want to.
Consumers.
When it comes to Cannabis 2.0 expectations for vapes and edibles, Gracewood would not say that either has over or under delivered.
I think they've all sold through as quick as we could have expected. And I think as producers in general start to ramp up production, and as more weeks go by, more producers will be ready with new products to the market. The quicker we can supply the market, the earlier we can kind of get out there and start educating on these types of products.
He adds that education is crucial as Canadian cannabis producers continue to work on providing quality next-gen pot products.
More and more that we can create an environment where that messaging can get not just to retail frontline staff and budtenders, but also to the consumers. It's going to set our industry up for success. And I think we've got an incredible story to tell in terms of, how the investments we've put into creating a safe and regulated environment for Canadian consumers. And I think the more that we leverage that kind of retail experience and building on that experience to encourage people to come in the door, to be open to kind of hearing that storyline, the better off we're going to be as an industry.
Ray Gracewood is the Senior Vice President of Marketing and
The next step is going to be the same terminals they have for the lottery.
I'm Carl Garnash.
They're going
The
to have
business
for the
report
cannabis
was brought
store.
to you
You're
by
going to tap your
Scotiabank
card.
Business Banking.
Like you're fucking...
You've worked hard
Bus
to open
pass
and
card.
manage your business. You shouldn't have to
Oh,
work
you
hard
already
with your
bought an
banking.
ounce today.
That's
You
why
can't have another
Scotiabank
ounce
offers
till
the
tomorrow.
right size account for business. A flexible bank account that adjusts to your everyday business banking needs.
And there's
With
gonna be
convenient
messages on the
online
screen
access
telling
and
you
low
don't smoke
transaction
and
fees,
drive.
they can help keep your
Keep it out of
finances
reach of
running
children.
smoothly. And for a limited time, you can get $100 when you open a right size account for business and a business credit solution. Certain conditions must be met.
More
Talk to a
business
Scotiabank
credit. I gotta
advisor
come up
today.
with a
Do you
business
have
name.
unfiled taxes? Are you overwhelmed and stressed? Boxes of paper, lost documents, disorganized, confused.
I
Don't know
need
where
a
to start?
business loan to
We
finance
do.
the
Call Mark
development of
Feldstein,
a
Chartered
name for
Professional
my business.
Accountants. We deal with this every day. It's never too late. Start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein, Chartered Professional Accountants now at pound tax. That's the pound sign tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca.
Right now, downtown Toronto, 0 degrees, feeling more like -6. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. 680 News Time, 1 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning. It is Sunday, February the 2nd. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. And I'm Jordan Coulter. Here's what's making news this hour.
Groundhog.
A 44-year-old man from the Philippines is now the first victim outside of China to have died from the novel coronavirus. The World Health Organization is urging other governments to prepare for domestic outbreak control as the death toll from the coronavirus continues to rise.
The public's
Toronto
not
police are
as
investigating after a
afraid of
deadly shooting
gangbangers
during a
killing each
party at
other
an
as they are
Airbnb
of
left
getting
3
this
young men
strange
dead
foreign
and
ancient
another
disease that
seriously
comes from
hurt.
animals.
We'll take a look at your possible
that's the
front
number
runner in
one
the
story.
Conservative leadership race.
Jason Spencer, the big goal
All
against
this
his
talk
former
of
team at the
investing
Battle of
millions of
Ontario
dollars in the
needed
root
overtime.
problems. They
The
won't even
Winnipeg
talk
Jets get a
about
big
the
win over the reigning
stories.
champs in North Powell
As
out
they happen.
indefinitely. Sports at 15.
And coming up at This Is No More Fake Meat at Tim's. We're looking at why Tim Hortons is passing on Beyond Meat.
After they told us to buy into the
680
company.
News Time 101. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
So they didn't
Looking
even
at a
mention
quiet
that
drive
shooting.
on all your major routes right now throughout the
Slightly more than
GTA, not
24
seeing any
hours since it
delays. We've
happened.
just
It's
got a
no
little bit
longer
of overnight construction
longer
on the
top tier
401
news.
heading through Durham region. Eastbound 401 at Brock Street, crews are working in the 2 right lanes.
Get that
And as
big
part
in
of that
this city
construction,
and
the
still
Brock
get off
Street
the
ramp
news
onto the
within
eastbound
24
401
hours.
is closed as well. Other side of the highway, westbound 401 construction in almost the exact same spot, just west of Dixon. Crews working in the 2 left lanes. You just got the single right lane open, but with the light traffic, there's no delays. We've also got the southbound Dixon ramp onto the westbound 401 currently shut down. And those are the only issues. Other than that, 401 in great shape all the way across the city in either direction. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, no delays. It's all up to speed. 404 DVP, same thing, looking good in either direction. Gardner as well. We've just got that long-term construction on the Gardner between York Street and the DVP. Reminder, as part of that, the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW up to speed in either direction. We did have crews dealing with a stalled vehicle westbound QEW west of Appleby line, but that has cleared. 403, 410, 427, all up to speed at this time. Looking off of the major routes onto city streets, collision at Yonge Street and Rowanwood Avenue, which is just in Rosedale between St. Clair and Bloor. Looks like southbound Yonge traffic is affected by that. There's emergency vehicles on scene, so some minor delays heading through there. Your next traffic report is at 1:11 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
Waking up to some snowfall pushing in early this morning, and we do have the risk of freezing drizzle. We're looking at trace amounts to up to 3 centimeters. A rain-snow mix by the afternoon and evening as temperatures begin to warm up. Your high today is 2 degrees.
Right now, downtown Toronto, it is 0, feels more like -6, and we're seeing some light snow. Over at Pearson Airport, light snow, -1, feeling more like -7. 680 News Time, 103. We begin with an update on the coronavirus, where a 44-year-old man is the latest outbreak victim. This is the first time the virus has caused outside of China. The man was reportedly a Wuhan resident who traveled from China to the Philippines recently. The man's 38-year-old female companion, also from Wuhan, tested positive for the virus and remains in hospital isolation in Manila. She's the second case in the Philippines. This makes 304 deaths in total from the coronavirus. Meantime, with China's death toll from the new virus is now more than 300. A World Health Organization official says other governments need to prepare for domestic outbreak control at some point. Reporter Ian Pennell from ABC says governments around the world are taking steps to contain the outbreak.
More countries joining the United States in a temporary ban on foreigners who've traveled to China. Australia, Japan, and Vietnam expanding travel restrictions. South Korea and India flying their citizens out of Wuhan as the coronavirus continues to spread. The death toll rises. The epicenter of the outbreak shows a ghost town.
Canada has now 4 confirmed cases, 3 in Ontario and 1 in BC. And now the novel coronavirus is impacting a U.S. tech giant.
For now,
Apple is temporarily shutting 42 stores and corporate offices in China due to the coronavirus. Quote, out of an abundance of caution. Most iPhones are made in China, with several suppliers in Hubei province, the center of the virus's outbreak. Earlier this week, Apple said the coronavirus was preventing it from giving guidance about its financial performance over the next few months. The stock fell 4% on Friday. Apple says it's looking for ways not to disrupt its supply chain. The temporary closures last until February 9th. Yuni Han, ABC
Those
News.
people aren't allowed to go to work.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Toronto police are investigating the city's latest fatal shooting, a triple shooting rather. The city police presence is expected on Queens Wharf Road near Fort York Boulevard and Bathurst Street all day Saturday. 680's Joey Keeney joins us with the story.
It all happened just before 10:30 at an Airbnb unit on the 32nd floor of a building in the City Place neighborhood. 3 young men were killed. 2 died at the scene and another was pronounced in hospital. The deceased have been identified as 21-year-old Jalen Colley, 20-year-old Joshua Gibson Skier, and 19-year-old Tyrone Noseworthy. A 4th victim, another 20-year-old man, was taken to hospital with serious gunshot wounds. Constable Alex Lee with Toronto Police tells 680 News guns were recovered from the condo unit.
After speaking with our homicide investigators, is that we have recovered 2 firearms, which we believe are related to the shooting incident that occurred late last night, early this morning. I can confirm that the shooting occurred within a condo unit and the adjacent hallway.
Airbnb issued a statement in response saying safety is their top priority and they are urgently investigating the incident. I'm Joey Keeney.
Meanwhile, the recent shooting at the waterfront property rented through Airbnb has turned people's attention to the city. Many are wondering what officials are doing to reel in short-term rental mayhem. The city of Toronto is slowly regulating short-term rental hosts by requiring them to register with the city. The fatal shooting happened in Councillor Joe Cressy's Ward 10, Spadina, Fort York. Cressy tells the Toronto Star, this brutal and traumatic incident underscores the urgent need for proper regulation and oversight of short-term rentals, including Airbnb. You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. It looks like the Conservative leadership race has a front runner, and his name is Peter MacKay. The former MP wasted no time and submitted the full $300,000 campaign fee just a week after launching his campaign. The full amount and 2,000 signatures were due until the end of March. But this year's leadership race is different, with the party setting financial and endorsement requirements much higher than the previous years. It's a move party members suggest was intended to attract more serious candidates. So for the 2020 contestant, it looks like more of a 2-horse race. MacKay and Aaron O'Toole, the Durham MP and former cabinet minister, are widely viewed as the 2 candidates with the best chance of winning the top job. You're listening to 680 News. The federal Conservative Party will choose its new leader in June, and the person who gets the job will have to build support from coast to coast to coast. Political analyst Bob Plamondon, à la Francais, tells the Big Story podcast he thinks there are only 2 capable candidates, Peter MacKay and Aaron O'Toole.
I think they are both trying to distance themselves quite decidedly from the approach and the style and the tactics that were used in the last election campaign, notably by Andrew Scheer, and his discomfort with able to answer very simple, straightforward questions on perspectives on social issues.
You can listen to the full interview at thebigstorypodcast.ca or wherever you get your podcasts. 6 City News Time, 108. The union representing the province's Catholic school teachers is hoping to reach a deal with the province. The Ontario English School Teachers Association returns to the bargaining table tomorrow, but the union says if a deal isn't reached, they will still go ahead with the province-wide strike action planned on Tuesday. AWECTA President Lynn Stewart says she knows Ontarians are growing impatient, but the teachers can't let the government wear them down and accept cuts. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the ones. 6 City News Time, 109.
You need to know now.
680news.com.
As headmaster of St. Andrews College in Aurora, I'm often asked by parents why our school is right for their son.
The second you enter, you know you're a part of something truly amazing. There are tons of arts and extracurricular activities.
71 teams, 21 sports. There are so many opportunities to become a leader. 100% of our students are accepted to university.
The teachers sincerely care. They push you to do your best.
And I have brothers for life.
Experience for yourself what a St. Andrews College Day or boarding program can offer your son. Join us for our open house on February 8th.
Details at sac.on.ca.
Now, the 6 City News gas price update. As Encro predicted, the price did not budge at midnight. It's holding at just under $1.10 a liter at most GTA stations. 6 City News Time, 110.
Every small to medium-sized business has one. The IT guy that isn't really an IT guy that everyone depends on to fix their IT problems.
At first, it was no big deal. Just people looking to change a password or print something. Next thing I know, we're talking DDoS attacks, cloud migration, and something called autocation.
Oh, boy.
Do you have any idea how much money this company loses every time the server goes down?
As a matter of fact...
Who do these people think I am? Some kind of tech head ninja code writing cloud hosting guru?
Actually, that sounds exactly like us.
I'm the president.
So we're just test again.
I don't have time for this.
That's okay, because we do. We're Apps on Net.
Apps on what?
Apps on Net. And we're it when it comes to managed IT services for small to medium-sized business.
Go on.
Endpoint support, network security, proactive maintenance.
Cloud hosting?
100%.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Sold.
Get the relief you need with IT support from Apps on Net. Visit us online at allgainnopain.ca or call 1-855-255-4667. That's 1-855-ALL-G-NO-P.
6 City News Time, 111. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. How are the roads looking out there this morning, Michael?
We are looking at a very quiet drive. If you are on the major routes in the GTA, not seeing any delays. We've got a little bit of overnight construction. Just a reminder, if you are out on the roads, make sure you are driving according to the conditions, exercising caution, because we do have some slick conditions. But again, delays, there are none right now. 401's in great shape all the way across the city in either direction. Just looking at a little bit of construction as you head through Whitby in either direction. Eastbound 401 at Brock Street, crews are working in the 2 right lanes. And as part of that construction, the Brock Street ramp onto the highway is closed as well. And on the side of the highway, we've got construction almost in the exact same spot, just west of Thixon, crews working in the 2 left lanes. And we've also got the southbound Thixon ramp to the westbound 401 closed. And that's it for the overnight construction. The rest of your major routes looking good. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, there's no delays. 404, same thing. If you're driving in or out of downtown, DVP up to speed in either direction, northbound or southbound. Gardner as well. We've just got that long-term construction going on the Gardner between York Street and the DVP. So a reminder, as part of that, westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW's up to speed in either direction, 403, 410, 427, all up to speed. Looking off of the major highways onto city streets, we've got emergency crews dealing with a crash right now at Yonge Street and Rowanwood Avenue, which is in Rosedale between St. Clair and Bloor. So some minor delays in either direction if you're traveling on Yonge. The next traffic report is at 1:21 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
Another Clipper system makes its way through today. That's going to bring us some light snow beginning this morning. We're looking at 1 to 3 centimeters for most of the GTA. More mixing closer to the lakeshore. Into the afternoon, it's going to be a rain-snow mix. That's as temperatures warm up to 2 degrees. Monday, warming up even more. We're looking at a daytime high near 5 degrees and some sunshine. Your high today is +2.
Downtown Toronto right now, it is 0, feeling like -6 with an overcast sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -1, feeling like -6. It's February 2nd, and you know what that means.
You think Phil's gonna come out and see a shadow?
Punxsutawney Phil.
That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day!
And a celebration of Groundhog Day is one that dates all the way back to the 1800s, with the largest, most famous celebration held in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, with Phil since 1886. In Canada, the concept of Groundhog Day first became popular in 1956 when Wyerton Willie became a household name for his weather predictions. Interestingly, celebration organizers claim that predictions are accurate about 75% to 90% of the time. Well, we'll see what he does later today. And still to come on 680 News, we'll take a look across the pond at how Britain is handling their separation from the EU. 680 News time, 1:14.
Hi, it's Ivanka Osmak. Normally, I'm a sports anchor for Sportsnet, but today I'm spreading the news about Sleep Country's Aquagel pillow. To be honest, I'd never even heard of a gel pillow before their sleep experts suggested I try it out, and I am glad they did. The pillow is so comfortable. It's made with a water-based gel, so it's a super breathable alternative to memory foam that cradles your neck and keeps you cool. I've always been a little picky about my pillow, but that was totally embraced when I went to Sleep Country. Their sleep experts are sleep obsessed. It was amazing to see all of the options they could recommend based on just a few things I told them about my sleeping habits. So really, no matter how you sleep, I'm sure they'll be able to recommend a great pillow to you. Plus, right now, when you buy one Aquagel pillow, you get a second Aquagel pillow free. Get matched to your perfect pillow at Sleep Country or order online at sleepcountry.ca today. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's 0 with an overcast sky. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here are the top stories this hour. The Philippines has reported the first death related to a new virus outside of China. A 44-year-old man from Wuhan, China, has been visiting the country when he started showing signs of the virus. This makes 304 deaths in total from the novel coronavirus. 3 men are dead and 2 others are injured after a late-night shooting at an Airbnb in the downtown core. Police are still piecing together the incident and are asking any witnesses to come forward. And coming up after sports, we'll take a look at the different tributes to basketball legend Kobe Bryant. 680 News time, 1:15. Now 680 Sports and Sportsnet, 5-9 of the Fan. Here's Koloteski.
Battle of Ontario from Scotiabank Arena. Leafs facing the Ottawa Senators. Mark Borowiecki would open the scoring for Ottawa, but Jason Spezza tied the game on the power play, and Spezza spending 611 games in a Senators uniform. That's where we would stand after regulation. Swinged it overtime.
It back to Marner. Marner to Nylander to Marner, and a shot score! Holy mackerel! Aliso winning it overtime!
Mitch Marner gets the game-winning goal. The Maple Leafs escape with 2 points, 2-1. The final. Elsewhere in the NHL, a big win for the Winnipeg Jets. They beat the reigning champs 5-2. The Flyers over the Avalanche 6-3. The Rangers shut up the Red Wings 1-0. And the Montreal Canadiens, to a huge favor of the Maple Leafs, they beat the Panthers 4-0. And Panthers forward Alexander Barkov left that game with a lower body injury. Norm Powell out indefinitely as the Raptors resume action against the Chicago Bulls. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News time, 1:17.
There's a reason you look people in the eyes when you shake their hand. A reason you don't like being late for meetings and hate missing deadlines. That's why you put your customers first and pick your partners wisely. Because you know, in business, reputation is everything. Trust your reputation to FedEx for all of your international shipping needs. Express, ground, and freight. Visit FedEx.ca/reason. FedEx, connecting people and possibilities.
Wow, it's late. I should go. I have class tomorrow. I know I've been drinking, but I don't want to take the bus alone. I think I'm okay to drive, and my car's outside. Maybe I'll just...
Safety concerns discourage women from taking public transportation after drinking instead of driving. Hey, Jesse, we've both been drinking. Let's share a cab. You could crash in my place. Drunk driving is a woman's issue too. Learn how to reduce the risk at changetheconversation.ca.
In health and in international news, Britain's first day outside the European Union passed without any obvious change, but tough trade talks lie ahead.
There were mixed feelings around Britain as the country awoke to its first day outside of the EU bloc. Speaking outside the UK Parliament in London, Toby Brennan was optimistic, while British resident James Parks says he was depressed and downtrodden by the outcome. There are difficult negotiations ahead as the UK goes its own way while trying to preserve links with its biggest trading partner, covering everything from tariffs and product standards to the British industry's ability to recruit foreign workers and the EU's access to UK fishing grounds. Britain and the EU have given themselves an 11-month transition period, meaning that despite the fact that it is a historic moment, not much appears to have changed. Sarah Bassett, London.
60 News Time, 1:19, new calls for police to get more training on how to deal with people who are having medical emergencies. In Fresno, California, officials say they're using body cam footage as they investigate why police officers handcuffed a teenager with autism inside a restaurant after his family called for help.
Lourdes Ponce says her daughter called 911 after her son suffered an epileptic seizure in the bathroom.
We called paramedics for help. We did not call police. He was not hurting anybody. He was having a seizure.
Police arriving first. Yourself or anyone else, trying to put him in the back of a police vehicle. We're going to get him help. Okay. Ambulance on the way, okay? EMS eventually treating the boy and taking him to the hospital.
Footage of the incident Thursday reportedly shows police officers trying to place the teen in the back of a patrol car before his mom produced paperwork on his medical conditions. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News Time, 1:20.
Catholic teachers are fighting to preserve one of the best education systems in the world. We want to give every student a chance to succeed. The Ford government is overcrowding classrooms and destroying opportunities for students. We need to stop them before it gets worse. Critical thinking is one of the most important skills we teach. How to separate fact from spin. Don't fall for this government's misinformation. No more. Visit knowmore.ca to help us reverse the cuts. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Maybe you don't know where to start.
These people have money for ads and money for babysitters, but not money for
what if we told you that maybe you're closer than you think? That a simple conversation can spark something amazing. Your savings and investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still. And Scotiabank can help every step of the way. Energize your investing. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
680 News Time, 1:21, time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Handing things over to Michael Ranger.
Remains a quiet drive if you're out on the major highways in the GTA, not seeing any delays. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, it's all up to speed. So is the 404. 401 in good shape all the way across the city in either direction. We've just got a little bit of overnight construction on the 401. If you're heading through Whitby, eastbound at Brock Street, crews working in the two right lanes. And as part of that construction, the Brock Street ramp onto the eastbound 401 closed as well. Other side of the highway, some construction in almost the exact same spot there west of Fixon. Crews working in the two left lanes. And we've got the southbound Fixon ramp onto the westbound 401 closed. That's it for the construction. If you're coming in or out of downtown, DVP is up to speed in either direction. So is the Gardner, where you've got that long-term construction on the Gardner down to two lanes between York Street and the DVP. As part of that, a reminder, westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW is up to speed in either direction. So is the 403, 410, 427 moving well. Again, all major routes are moving fine right now. Looking off of the major highways onto city streets, I've got an issue in Brampton, Mayfield Road, westbound between Airport Road and Torbram. Traffic isn't getting through right now. We've got emergency crews on scene for a collision there. Again, that's westbound Mayfield west of Airport Road. All lanes are blocked because of a collision. Your next traffic report is at 1:31 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
A heads up, if you're traveling today for Super Bowl Sunday, watch out for some slick roads. It's going to be mostly cloudy starting off the day, and then snow pushes in this morning. The chance of some freezing drizzle early on, then snow changing to a rain-snow mix by the afternoon. We'll clear out late tonight with 1 to 3 centimeters expected for most of the GTA. Monday, sun and cloud with a high near +5, well above seasonal. Tuesday, it's going to be cloudy, +1 for your high with the chance of flurries. Your high today is 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now at 0, feeling like -6 with an overcast sky. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, -1, feeling like -6. Remember, 680 News is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $14,200. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the latest victim of the novel coronavirus has died in the Philippines, making this the first death outside of China with 304 deaths in total. 680 News time, 1:23.
False negatives in the fucking test. What if they test negative, they die, and they think it's someone else? Oh, it's just some old sick person.
Felix Auger-Aliassime and four-time winner Novak Djokovic. With so much to love, don't miss the Rogers Cup, presented by National Bank. Single session tickets on sale now.
I can't, so I'm going to.
Book now at RogersCup.com.
The one day a year a groundhog is asked to predict the weather.
Hey, likely best to stick with the professionals. Most meteorologists than any other station in Toronto.
With traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the one.
This is 680 News on 680news.com. Yeah, I think he's hungry. Somebody feed this little guy right now.
Tributes to basketball legend Kobe Bryant expected during football's biggest day throughout the Super Bowl. ABC's Zachary Ketchens.
Oh, wow, I thought they forgot about Kobe. I didn't forget about Kobe.
Tonight, there were moving tributes. Every Lakers player wore one of Bryant's jersey numbers 8 and 24 during warm-ups. And the starters at all 5 positions were introduced as Kobe. Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife, who didn't attend the game, responded to the tribute on Instagram, posting, "There's no number 24 without number 2. Hashtag Girl Daddy."
Sunday will mark 1 week since the death of Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter and 7 other people in a chopper crash in Southern California. Your business report coming up next, 680 News Time, 125.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for you.
That is the
For
weirdest thing I've
example,
heard of all
Northwood
time.
regularly helps families get into new homes after the bank has turned them down. Unlike the big banks, Northwood Mortgage is more flexible. Northwood Mortgage listens and works harder to create a solution that's customized for you.
I need you to hold off on those payments until I get out of the country.
License 10349.
Some live to ski, others ski to live. Introducing Bluemont.
Yeah, that's what I need. 890,000. That's what I
60-foot
need.
executive lots. Steps from the mountain. A lifetime of memories
Plus
awaits you and
appliances
your
and stuff.
family.
So let's make it a million.
Chalets from 890,000. For more information
People
or
are
directions
serious.
to our sales
That's not a
office,
joke. That's
visit
real prices for.
Fremont.com.
I got this plywood. I got this plywood and 2x4s in these houses.
I'm Richard Southern. No more fake meat at Timmy's. We found out this past week that Tim Hortons is going to stop selling Beyond Meat products. A coffee chain last year, amid much fanfare, announced Beyond Meat burgers and Beyond Meat sausage breakfast sandwiches. But it said there just wasn't a lot of demand, and that's why they're now off the menu. Robert Carter is food expert at Stratton Hunter.
Yeah, this is interesting, and
That
this
shows
could
a
be something as
commitment,
simple
yeah.
as product fit. With Tim Hortons launching a Beyond Meat burger, they're clearly trying to attract a new consumer. They may be trying to attract consumers to a dinner day part, which is really less than 10% of their overall business. So this could just be about fit and not really fitting in with their existing customer profile.
Right, because by all accounts, Beyond Meat has worked at other chains like A&W, right?
Absolutely. When you take a look at the volume of consumption of this Beyond Meat product, we're talking about tens of millions going through A&W, and the Impossible Burger at Burger King in the U.S. is on track to hit 75 million servings annually. So, this product, from a plant-based protein standpoint, it is successful. And I would suggest that we will see a plant-based menu item at Tim Hortons. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like moving forward.
You still think they're going to go ahead and do something like this?
Yeah, I think so. The Beyond Meat was a limited trial. They've come out and said that, so I think they may reevaluate. This would be an expensive product for Tim Hortons as well, but I will make a bold prediction that we will see a plant-based product on Tim Hortons menu.
That's Robert Carter with Scotland Hunter, and at the Business Center, I'm Richard Southern.
The pavement lies before him. A street lamp lights the way.
Bacon,
Such
not
steady
bacon
pace
bits.
and
Those
lane
pieces of
control
bacon
keeps
for the
passengers
sandwiches. They
safe.
just want them
You brought us
floating
close
around in the
together.
oil.
We've had a merry time. While we drank beer and shooters, he ordered soda with lime. We hope he always joins us, as we enjoy his company. A leader, a warrior, a man amongst men. For short, just call him DD. Who's your designated driver?
Arrive Alive Drive Sober and the beer store want you to plan a safe ride home, so we all arrive alive.
As headmaster of St. Andrews College in Aurora, I'm often asked by parents why our school is right for their son.
The second you enter, you know you're a part of something truly amazing. There are tons of arts and extracurricular activities.
71 teams, 21 sports. There are so many opportunities to become a leader. 100% of our students are accepted to university.
The teachers sincerely care. They push you to do your best.
And I have brothers for life. Experience for yourself what a St. Andrews College Day or boarding program can offer your son. Join us for our open house on February 8th.
Details at sac.on.ca.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by IA Clarendon Investments, where we believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarendon.com.
I'll stop them dead. That's
Vancouver
not a
right now,
sport.
possible drizzle 3, Winnipeg clear -6, Las Vegas clear and 9. Downtown Toronto right now it's 0, feeling like -6 with
I gotta
a
find
overcast sky.
proper
Around
arguments.
Pearson similar
What could
-1,
they
feeling like
possibly have to have
-6.
21
The News
sports?
Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen 3, 4,
It's not
5 times a day
motorsports
and
or
always be in the know.
bodybuilding.
680 News time. 1:30.
Can't be figure skating.
Number one for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Sunday, February 2nd. I'm Jordan Coulter. And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour. The coronavirus has claimed another victim, a 44-year-old man from Wuhan who had recently traveled to the Philippines where he died. Concerns abroad, a 13-hour Air Canada flight from Beijing to Toronto with no running water.
A deadly shooting has claimed the lives of 3 young adults. It happened at an Airbnb. I'll give you the details coming up.
Catholic school teachers are hoping to
How
strike a
many
bargain with
years
the
has the
province
water
to
been
avoid
broken on that
going on
plane and
strike.
nobody said anything?
Jason Spezza gets a goal against his former team, but the Maple Leafs and Senators went down to overtime in the Battle of Ontario, and Norm Powell out indefinitely for the Raptors. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, survey says most employees would switch jobs to get a better mental health environment. We'll bring you research from Morneau Chappelle.
680 News Time, 1:31. Time for traffic and
Talk
weather.
about
Together
an
on the
access
ones.
to
Here's Michael Ranger.
psychologists and counselors. Are you
So looking
talking
at a
about
very
not
quiet
having
drive
dickheads
on the
in
major
your
highways in the GTA, not seeing any delays. We do have a crash on the northbound 400. It's north of Teston. Emergency crews are on scene blocking the right lane. So again, 2 left lanes remain open, and some of the cars slowing down because of the flashing lights there. So just be careful if you're driving through that stretch. Once again, that is the northbound 400 north of Teston Road. Collision blocking the right lane. Emergency crews are on scene. Other than that, the 400 moving fine in either direction. 404, same thing. 401 in great shape all the way across the city, eastbound and westbound. We just got a little bit of overnight construction on the 401 heading through Durham region. Eastbound 401 at Brock Street, crews are working in the 2 right lanes. And as part of that construction, Brock Street ramp onto the eastbound 401 is closed. Other side of the highway, construction in almost the exact same spot, just west of Dixon, crews working in the 2 left lanes. And we've also got the southbound Dixon ramp to the westbound 401 closed. If you're driving in around the downtown downtown. DVP's up to speed in either direction. So is the Gardner. Reminder, long-term construction on the Gardner. As part of that, the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW moving well in either direction. 403, 410, 427 are all up to speed. Looking off of the major highways onto city streets, got a call about an issue in Brampton. Westbound Mayfield Road, west of Airport Road. No westbound traffic getting through because of a collision. Your next traffic report is at 1:41 with the forecast. Here's Michelle Nelson.
Snow pushes in this morning. We're looking at a chance of freezing drizzle. Watch out for some slick roads and sidewalks. Your morning low near -2. It's going to feel more like -6. A rain snow mix by the afternoon. It's not a high impact system. We're looking at 1 to 3 centimeters of snow for most of the GTA. Your high today is 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto right now is 0, feeling like -6 with an overcast sky. Over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there. -1, feeling like -6. 6:80 news time, 1:33.
That'll stop trains and buses.
We begin with news from the Philippines, where the novel coronavirus has claimed its first victim outside of China. Bloomberg reports that a 44-year-old man in the Philippines died on Saturday from the virus. He was apparently a Wuhan resident who recently traveled over to the Philippines.
How the fuck did he get out?
A 38-year-old female companion, also from Wuhan, tested positive for the virus and remains in hospital in isolation in Manila. She's the second case in the Philippines, and this means that in total, 304 people have died from the novel coronavirus. China has reported 2,590
so far, all the cases
as
so
of
far have
Saturday.
resulted in death.
Meantime, the latest revelation in Canadian concerns surrounding the coronavirus comes from a 13-hour Air Canada flight from Beijing to Toronto.